matches under their new manager. Forward by Bielik, and Hegerberg is fouled, tripped from behind by Danny Bart, and that's a rather cheap free kick for Derby to give away.
He's winning that battle so far, Hegerberg, so convincingly. I've been keeping my eye on it. I think probably 6, maybe 7 balls that have gone up to Hegerberg. He's got the better of him once. Every other time it's Hegerberg, whether he manages to set it off, or you see there the little cute turn with the outside of the foot to get the wrong side of the defender. He's doing everything very well so far, but it's because he's dropping in and then he's helping everyone else. They need to repay that favour his West Brom teammates to him and give him some service in the box.
It's ain't without scoring for Anna Hegerberg, but we know the quality that he possesses, the quality of finishing at championship level. Free kick is chipped crossfield by Price, headed down into the penalty area. Campbell is there at the back post trying to force the ball towards the goal, and it's turned behind by Elder at the expense of West Bromwich Albion's third corner. This one in front of the travelling fans on the far side, 0-0.
It's a decent little bit of play by West Brom. That first ball wasn't necessarily the best, but in terms of then the intention to win it on the second and third phase was very good.
Well, Johnston has gone across to take it. Plenty forward in the yellow and green of West Bromwich Albion. All 3 centre-halves are there. It'll be right-footed and then swinging this for Johnston. Into the 6-yard box. Campbell's header! Wide of goal. And West Bromwich Albion have a big chance to go ahead on the road. But Campbell couldn't hit the target.
He has to do better. Initially, everything right in terms of the movement. The strength to hold off the defender. Rises really well. Full forehead plant on the ball. Just doesn't direct it well enough, and we were right behind that one, Joe, and you can't help but think if that's on target, it's in the back of the net.
It was a good technical and athletic centre-half, George Campbell, the American who joined the club over the summer. Certainly very good in the air, as you'd expect any centre-half to be. And he met it firmly, his leap was good, nobody really around him. West Brom should be in front. Derby get away with it, still 0-0. Adjumang has fouled Bielik, and West Brom have done a good job early on here of really quietening the Derby crowd. It's very quiet and tepid here at Pride Park.
It is, and credit to West Brom. There's been a reaction there. They're not moping on their defeat. You have to show that as a player. But then there's the next level of it. Yes, they've started well. Can they get themselves in front? Can they come away with something? I think even a draw tonight for West Brom, I think would just settle the nerves around camp for everyone, including the manager.
Forward by O'Leary, the West Brom goalkeeper. That'll bounce into the Derby penalty area, headed away by Langast, and now the shot could be on the left corner of the area for Hegerberg. Goes backwards instead to Styles for West Brom. Threaded ball up the far side touchline. Johnston keeps himself offside, watching the line closely there. Johnston away on the far side of the field. The linesman is on our side as we look at it. Now here is Phillips in the centre circle. Square ball to the number 8, Malumbi, under pressure from Adjumang. He's been shoved in the back by Adjumang on the run back towards his own goal. Didn't really need to do that there, Patrick Adjumang, because Malumbi had nearly got himself into trouble without any help from the Derby man, and in the end it's a West Brom free kick.
Yeah, it was just a bit of naivety, especially because Brewster's up with him and Bobby Clark was trying to back it up. I think if he just continues, Adjumang, with the press and trying to make life more difficult, then that works because he'll have teammates backing him up. But as soon as you put a hand in, the fact the referee's going to give a foul.
Eric Ramsey and John Eustace watching on the near side touchline, both in their club tracksuits, as O'Leary pummels the ball downfield again, headed away by Bart from midway inside his own half. Langas with a headed clearance this time for Derby, nodded forward by Diakite, nodded down by Travis to Ozo, who scoops the ball high up into the air again. Rather ugly passage of play this. Nobody can get the ball down and play for the moment. Brendan Diaz then commits a foul inside the centre circle on Jason Malumbi. And it's a frustrating first 21 minutes, I think, if you're the Derby boss, John Eustace, pacing him out in his technical area, a few feet in front of us. Derby nil, West Bromwich Albion nil.
Yeah, you just see the look on his face, and he's certainly not happy with what he's seen, and I understand that. They've not necessarily been overrun by West Brom by any stretch of the imagination, and you know, he's long enough in the tooth to know John Eustace that it was never a case that it was going to be a walkover here tonight because of the result that West Brom have been having, but he'll be disappointed because they will be expecting a lot more of his team. They've since the first 5 or 10 minutes where they looked quite good. After that, not really showed enough urgency on the ball for my liking.
Good start from West Bromwich Albion. The ball flighted cross-field on the diagonal by Malumbi from the free kick, headed away by Elder for Derby, but Brewster's lost the ball to Campbell, who runs into the challenge of Elder. Stood up firm but fair. It's come out to Johnston. Johnston in a crowded area in the right wing position has to go backwards to Isaac Price, and Price will roll the ball back to the feet of Malumbi. And now the ball is deep inside West Bromwich Albion territory again, but it's West Brom who have the great command of the game so far. And again, the Derby fans in front of us getting frustrated nearly midway through the first half, and Derby have not had a meaningful effort on goal. West Brom could be 1 or 2 0 up. Price, away on the near side, the right, tries the ball up the near side touchline. It's Brewster, deflected to the path of Beerling, then it's scooped long by Phillips, header away by Bart, above Hegerberg, nodded down by Ozo to the halfway line. Achimang holds it up, flicks it towards Clark, and he's crowded out. Very congested in the midfield area at the moment. Ozo's there to shepherd it back to the goalkeeper, Zennestra.
What's happened a couple of times now for Derby is it's a bit of pinball in there, and there's an opportunity to just calm down and set the ball back. It happened with Brewster and Agyman a little bit earlier. You see there with Agyman and Bobby Clark, where when the ball's coming into the player, whoever it may be, and for one instance, for example, there was Agyman, you've got to give him a set in front. But what's happening is players are running off to try and get in the space in behind before they've even got control of the ball, and that's what's hurting Derby at the moment.
That's the voice of Courtney Sweetman Kirk. West Brom have the ball again with Diakite, who was granted compassionate leave, which meant that he missed the home defeat to Norwich. He's back in the team tonight. And now Phillips, the former Liverpool man, who had a loan spell at Derby County last season, that Phillips. Big diagonal ball swirling out to the left in the wind. Good back header by Ward, very comfortable. Back to his goalkeeper, all in bright orange. Zennestra, the Derby #1. So it's West Ham against Sunderland tomorrow over on talkSPORT. Make sure you download our free app, and that way you can be across all the action as it happens, across all of our stations on the network. Pompey against Southampton at midday on talkSPORT 2 on Sunday. Then a choice of listening on the Monday Night Football. Everton against Leeds on talkSPORT. Here on 2, the Championship leaders Coventry go to Norwich City. Well, the advertising hoardings have all lit up a very bright white, like an extra set of floodlights, and thankfully they've gone again, because we might have struggled to see the ball on the far side, Courtney, for a moment there.
Yeah, a bit of technical difficulties.
Thankfully they were only fleeting. And on the right for Derby is Brett Diaz. Scampering in field, Ozo to Travis. You're right, Courtney, no great tempo from Derby County so far.
No, it's sort of painted by numbers, doing all the right things in the perceived right order, but with a lack of purpose and energy to it.
Travis, who is a very tenacious player, will try to provide some of that. It's his throw backwards to the halfway line of the tall Langas. Square ball to Bart. Bart now to the near side of the left, and Elder, but on the back of his white shirt. Bart again. Bit of possession here for Derby, 25 minutes into the game, but very little creativity from the home team up to this point.
It's a great illustration of probably 20 yards between the midfield and the forward line, because the midfield are dropping so far back to the defensive line to try and get the ball. So even the midfield needs to move up for one, and I think that the defensive line in general as well is quite deep, and maybe it's because they don't want to get caught in behind, but the lines, the spaces in between the lines seem very mismatched at the moment for Derby.
Points would only be good enough to take Derby up to 8 tonight. They need to win to get into the top 6, but if you listen to any of John Eustace's pre-match press conferences and indeed post-match interviews, you'll know that he is very much playing down talk of any sort of promotion challenge. He keeps talking about 50 points as being the first target, and then we'll see what happens thereafter, says the head coach. Derby have it with Ozo, infield from the left, square ball to Brett Diaz, who can't control it. Now West Brom counter, Styles carrying it forward up to the halfway line, jinking away from Brett Diaz, then he was clipped by Clark. Styles stumbled to his feet, and in the end I think the referee did the sensible thing, realised there was no advantage, and West Brom get a free kick in the centre circle. If you're a West Brom fan, I think you're encouraged. If you're a Derby fan, it's been a really poor game so far.
Yeah, it has. for Derby. They're thinking, here we go again. The fan with this home form. Seems strange that they've only won 4 here, but 7 away. And it's a change for them. But you're right, West Brom, I think they've done well without obviously really testing the goalkeeper Zetterstrom. I think the closest they came was that header from Campbell. So it's a good foundation, but there probably needs to be a bit more quality in the final third.
Free kick is driven into the Derby County penalty area by Price from the halfway line, and it's slightly over here. It eludes the stretch of Campbell and goes behind for a goal kick away to our right. Isaac Price has started the season in really good goal-scoring form. You saw him score against Middlesbrough in the Championship a week ago. Courtney playing in a slightly unfamiliar role at the moment for West Brom.
Yeah, there's a few, probably Johnston as well. I like to see him wider, so he's normally one of the players that loves to drive and get a defenders. He's a bit wider now. It's just that they've changed in possession, but he's been a bit more central throughout the game, and that's the manager, isn't it? Trying to implement new things and trying to fit everyone in that he wants to, but I don't think he's quite found the foundation that he needs as yet, but he needs time for that.
Here Ramsey, the former Minnesota United boss and former first-team coach at Manchester United. Foul by Elder on Johnston. I'm not sure why he's appealing for that. Callum Elder shakes his head at the assistant referee and arms outstretched. It was one of the most blatant fouls you'll see all weekend in the EFL, and a free kick again to West Brom here, Courtney. In a relatively dangerous position. It's probably midway inside the Derby half, but they can pump it into the box, and they'll be encouraged by the fact that already they could be a goal line.
Yeah, and I think obviously Campbell will be one of the main players that they aim for, but even it's not necessarily landed to a West Brom head on the first contact. We've probably not been the best at clearing their lines, and they've been good in the second and third phase, West Brom, so they fancy themselves from this.
Nearly half an hour gone. And 0-0 on talkSPORT 2. Standing over this free kick is Johnston on the near side of the right. 5 yards or so in field from the touchline. Johnston, one arm up into the air. Everybody back to Derby. Whipped in high by Johnston into the penalty area. Up go the heads, and it's gone wide. There was a West Brom touch on that. Maybe Phillips. And behind it away for a goal kick to Derby.
It's not a bad ball though. Whipped in behind that Derby back line. Hegeber was sort of started 5 yards offside and comes back on that movement to try and block in some of the defenders, and to a degree it worked, but I think where the ball landed, probably about 16 yards, to get a good contact on that towards goal was always going to be difficult.
Derby lose the ball in their defensive third. Hegeber for West Bromwich Albion. Right hand into the penalty area, little flick by Johnston back to Price. West Brom playing like the team who are challenging for the playoffs at the moment. Malumbi trying to flick the ball into the path of Ealing Junior. By a deflection, he's done that. Ealing Junior towards the edge of the D. Langas makes a half tackle, and eventually Ward is across to send it back to the goalkeeper, whose clearance hangs up in the air. A lot of backspin on it from Zetterstrom. Headed down, field by Styles. Ozo there to win it back in the middle of midfield for Derby. Derby feel like they just need an injection of energy or something to bring to their game. There's no spark at the moment from Derby County.
No, and even when West Brom are attacking, they just seem not necessarily happy. Everything's at one pace. They don't seem alarmed when West Brom are attacking. There's a lack of energy and a purpose when going forward. It's all just very, I wouldn't say, they don't look fatigued. I wouldn't say they look tired. It's just, as you say, they need an injection of energy from somewhere. Some player just needs to take control of it. Bobby Clark here, maybe he might be the type of player, the energy and the quality that he's got, but to be honest, he's not seen too much of the ball.
Is there a little bit of complacency about the Derby performance, maybe, Courtney? Because you're right, it's not as though they're physically fatigued. They're not lethargic, but there's no real zip about their game. There's a lack of sharpness about the game, isn't there?
Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head there, and I don't think it's the plan, because my other thing in the back of my head was thinking, is it the plan to almost try and wear West Brom down a little bit? But I think you can tell from John Eustace's face, that's not the case. He's not a happy man right now.
He is not. On the edge of the technical area again, pointing and issuing instructions. That's a good sliding challenge by Bielik on Brewster. Bielik has hurt himself. He's hurt his arm, maybe caught by Brewster, because he went to ground full body there, Bielik. And I think he was caught on the arm by Brewster completely accidentally. The referee has stopped the game, and with Both sets of players come over to the near side touchline, and John Eustace is full of instructions for his Derby players. Over half an hour gone now, and it's still Derby nil, West Bromwich Albion nil.
He looks in some trouble, doesn't he, really? You're right, because he goes to ground, and it's definitely not a foul. It's just the fact that there's obviously been some contact somewhere along the way from Brewster. It's that sometimes the issue that you take when you go to ground as a defender, you know that's something that may well happen.
Well, West Brom, if they were to pick up a point tonight, would move 4 clear of the relegation zone, albeit they will be doubtless aware that all of the clubs around them have games in hand, and in some cases, as it is with Portsmouth, it's as many as 3 games in hand. And all of the teams directly below them have at least one. Blackburn and Oxford have both got 2 games in hand on West Bromwich Albion. I'm not really counting Sheffield Wednesday because, of course, they're so far behind. But West Brom cannot afford for this losing run away from home to carry on any longer.
No, they're perilously close, aren't they, to that relegation zone, and you then, this time of the season, don't want to go on those type of runs, so it needs to change quickly, especially, say, you mentioned the games that have gone ahead, and especially when you're playing teams in and around, it's good in one way, because you feel that, if you get the 3 points there, then you're taking it off others, but equally you don't want to lose either.
Bielik is off the field for West Brom as Derby attack down there right with Ward. Close to the corner flag, across comes Callum Styles. No foul on Ward, plays it back to Brayton Diaz. Clark got a touch on it. Again, no rhythm in the attack for Derby, and it's hammered upfield high to the dark night sky by Styles and away from danger. Bielik comes back on, so West Brom restored to their full complement here at Pride Park. Quiet and flat Pride Park, which you can totally understand the atmosphere, given the way that Derby had played in the first 33.5 minutes without any sort of invention whatsoever, really. Clark just taps the ball back to Travis, who rolls a square pass onto the right boot of Danny Bart. The ball trickles out to the Derby left and Adjemang, back to Bart again. Adjemang very deep on the halfway line here as he finds Ozo, and West Brom quick on the uptake. Hegeler trying to win it back. Price eventually does. Johnston back to Bielik, and now hoisted downfield by Phillips for West Brom. Headed by Malombi up to the halfway line. Towering header by Bart all over the back of Hegeler. No foul. Play goes on, and West Brom had it back anyway. But West Brom just look like they are sharper and quicker to the second balls, and they seem to be winning the midfield battle at the moment.
Yeah, they do, and to be honest, they look like a team that obviously got more to play for. They are, they'll be seeing that dotted line below them, that relegation line, and thinking we don't want to get anywhere near that. So you can tell they're the ones with the urgency, and you sort of understand why in terms of the position they're in. But obviously, Derby have got so much to play for as well. And you mentioned there, Adjemang, when he gets on the ball and is dispossessed, but he's on the halfway line. That's not where you want him. You want him higher up the pitch, and that's been Derby's problem, as I mentioned. The distances between the lines they're very strange.
Diakite angle ball out to the right. Price on the overlap. Hegeber in the middle. Low ball in towards Hegeber, and he couldn't get to it. Gathered by the goalkeeper. Excellent cross by Isaac Price. Not too far away from the onrushing Hegeber.
Yeah, it's the right idea, and Zetterstrom as well, in all fairness to him, because he's on his front foot, and I was watching Hegeber, his movement, he was anticipating that, but he couldn't have left any earlier. If he did, he would have been offside, but it's the right blueprint for West Brom.
Excellent ball in, really teasing across the face of goal, in between goalkeeper and back line. And Zetterstrom in the end able to handle it relatively well. Still 0-0, Derby County and West Bromwich Albion, live exclusive to national radio here on talkSPORT 2. Ozo in the centre circle, wide ball out to the left, and Brewster the number 10, another forward player on the halfway line here for Derby. Tempo is so slow, and it's forgiving for any team in the Championship at the moment, let alone a team with such a poor defensive record as West Bromwich Albion have. Zetterstrom's clearance is too long, and bounces off the head of Brewster and out to play for a West Brom throw. I mean, the worrying thing for West Brom is, if it does stay 0-0, 9 minutes of the first half remaining, you'd think Courtney Derby can't be as bad in the second half.
Well, exactly, and that's the thing, when Derby aren't playing well, when they're not at their full capacity, then that's where you have to take advantage. I think in general play, like I say, West Brom, they've been good and they've shown some good elements, but actually, has Zetterstrom been tested? No. and that's where it has to improve. And I'm watching Bielik as well. He's constantly feeling his shoulder, that left shoulder that he's struggling with, and I just wonder if he goes in at half time, you have an injury like that, especially when it's cold and you stop it. Obviously, I know you get time with the doctors and the physios, but it might continue to cause him a problem.
Well, they have got centre halves on the bench, haven't they, as well? West Brom that they can bring on should they need to. Tangle in the centre circle between Brewster, Diakite and Malumbi. West Brom, through sheer weight of numbers, do well there to win it back. And a foul by Brewster, who looks very frustrated, the former Liverpool, Sheffield United and Swansea man. And a free kick to West Brom again. Inside the centre circle, right on the halfway line. Eric Ramsey watches on, and he must be. This game is there for West Bromwich Albion tonight, based on the first 38 minutes that we've seen.
Yeah, he won't be getting too ahead of himself, but he knows that on what we're seeing on this current performance, that Derby don't look great. There's a lack of energy, a lack of intensity. They've not troubled the back line yet, let alone the goalkeeper in O'Leary. But he'll know as well as anyone that that means that they have to take advantage at the other end, which they've not done yet.
O'Leary pings the ball downfield from the free kick. Sent very far upfield, the goalkeeper to take it, and it was floated high and relatively easy for 6'6" Zetterstrom to pluck out of the air. Derby County 0, West Bromwich Albion 0 on talkSPORT 2. The South Coast Derby live with us on Sunday, the league leaders on Monday night. Coventry away and much improving Norwich, who are out of the relegation zone. High ball downfield by Langas for Derby, and that's got Antoine sprinting onto it into the area. Good save by O'Leary with his feet, but I think there was a foul by Antoine anyway on Phillips, and it wouldn't have counted. Very quick out of his goal there, Max O'Leary, to deny Patrick Antoine, who tried to poke it towards goal from a long way out. O'Leary made the block, but in the end he didn't have to.
Yeah, signalling for a push there, Nat Phillips, wasn't he? But at that point, Max O'Leary wasn't to know that. And regardless of whether it would have counted or not, the fact that he's come out, he's done well, he's made the save, he's reacted brilliant to that, that'll give him a lot of confidence.
Well, it was quite a simple high long ball, wasn't it, to get the West Bromwich Albion defenders turning, and nearly effective for Derby. 0-0 as O'Leary sends another booming clearance high downfield. Hegerber goes up against Bart, won the header but caught Bart on the follow through. Is he going to be in trouble here, Hegerber? It's a yellow card for the challenge. Must have been a flailing arm that caught Danny Bart. Are you sure about that, Courtney Sweetman?
Not at all, Joe. Not at all. I don't know how you're expecting players to jump. You can tell whether there's meaning and it's an elbow. And that certainly wasn't it. His eyes are trained on the ball. He's using his arms for leverage to jump. He connects with the ball. And yes, in terms of the follow-through with the arm and the natural movement, he might have caught the defender. It's not a foul for me, let alone a yellow card.
It's interesting that, Courtney, because arms as leverage and arms being in a natural position is also something that comes up when we talk about the handball law as well. And what is a natural position? What can a player do but raise their arms when they're jumping for an aerial challenge against a big centre-half like Danny Bart?
Exactly. Don't get me wrong, I don't envy the referees and how they have to apply these laws, but that was never a yellow card in my book.
Achimang is away down the Derby left, got his way into the penalty area, but not beyond that. Phillips, who smacks the ball clear high and long for West Brom. Another tangle between Bart and Hegerber, both have hold of each other. Forward by Phillips, slightly tame touch, and then Campbell hooks it up the right-hand touchline. Bart just got something on it, otherwise Hegerber would have been through. Now Ozo in the middle of midfield for Derby, slips, stumbles, manages to hold on to possession. Fouled by Johnston, free kick given by the referee. Derby 0, West Brom 0. That's got the Derby fans going a little bit, so maybe the home support can spark the quality that Derby needs. Here's Langas just shy of the halfway line. Out to the right, and Bobby Clark. Not seen a lot of Bobby Clark in the game at all so far.
No, not at all, and that's only a negative thing in my book. He's such a wonderful player, great technician, but I've not found him nearly enough tonight.
Travis with the angled ball out to the right, Ward, forward to Ben Breton Diaz. Right-hand edge of the penalty area. Campbell gets across at the expense of a Derby throw. Close to the corner flag. John Eustace turns back towards the Derby dugout, and there might be a long throw here from Joe Ward as Langas is sent forward from the back line. Danny Bart is up there too for Derby County into the 42nd minute of the game. Very few chances so far tonight at Pride Park. Langas is standing right on the goal line here in front of the goalkeeper at the moment. Long throw from Ward, hurled into the near post. Bart went up, headed away, drops to Brewster. He knocks it backwards to Clark, feeds it back out wide right to Ward. Ward hangs up across. Langas is up there. Campbell, the number 6, in the way for West Brom, and it's hooked clear by Mikey Johnston. I mean, they wouldn't deserve to be behind in the game, West Brom. Certainly not. If Derby were to score before the end of the first half, it would come against the run of play.
Yeah, certainly, but it just seems to be a little bit more urgency about what Derby are doing now.
Adjumang is giving it away straight to Price, and then Johnston tries to spin and turn. That was silly in that area. He's giving it straight back to Adjumang, who is collided with by Johnston and Bierlich coming across, and Adjumang does well in a very tight area to win Derby a free kick right on this near side left touchline.
It's a really good opportunity, especially with the quality that Elder has from his delivery. As you say, if they do score from here, Derby County, they don't deserve it, and it'd be a real sucker point for West Brom.
Well, it's Ward and Elder who are standing over the ball. Ward provides the right-footed in-swinging option, Elder the left-footed option for Derby. Plenty of white shirts forward inside the penalty area. West Brom have brought everybody back. Remember, they're defending desperately poor in midweek. They conceded 5 goals at home to Norwich City. The only way really is up for West Bromwich Albion after a defeat as chastening as that. 0-0. Derby free kick, 90 seconds of the first half remaining. Normal time anyway. Callum Elder to deliver. High left-footed. Oh, and O'Leary's dropped it! And it's bundled in by Adjumang! A poacher's goal, but a nightmare moment on his West Bromwich Albion debut for Max O'Leary. A simple free kick into the penalty area. The goalkeeper drops it, and it's bundled home by Adjumang from almost on the goal line. It does come against the run of play, but it sums up West Bromwich Albion's fortunes at the moment, particularly away from home. Behind on the road yet again. Derby 1, West Brom 0.
First and foremost, it's the quality of delivery that is very good about this goal. Obviously, there's the mistake in there by the goalkeeper. And we can have conversations about that, and I'm sure, we spoke about it previously in terms of bringing O'Leary in, dropping Griffiths. Was it the right thing? But there's no doubt that the goalkeeper gets it all wrong there. And I do sympathise with him because, a goalkeeper makes a mistake 9 times out of 10. It is in the back of the net, but has to do better. It's certainly not a foul. You can tell by the reaction of himself and his teammates. Doesn't look at the referee once, but then Adjumang, he has to be there in the right time, at the right place, and he does just that. And that's what you want from your forwards. He's barely been in the game, to be quite honest, but when you needed him, Adjumang, he was there. And I think, is that 8 goals now for the season? Just about catching Carlton Morris up?
Yes, absolutely. He's only a couple away now from Carlton Morris's tally. Most of Adjumang's goals have come away from home, so it's a relatively rare Pride Park goal for Patrick Adjumang as we go into 3 minutes of added time at the end of the first half, and somehow, Courtney, it's Derby who are 1-0 up, and they're on the attack again with Adjumang. Goalkeeper backing away after that long ball forward. A nervous figure at the moment, Max O'Leary in the West Brom goal. Bobby Clark left corner of the penalty area. Back to Adjumang. Out left to Brewster. Now Ozo wide to Brewster again. He only had an hour of training in the build-up to this game with his new teammates, Max O'Leary, but really for any goalkeeper, the cross that ultimately led to the goal should have been an easy take.
Yeah, it should have, and then that's the question asked, isn't it, in terms of Merritt Ramsey, is it the right decision if he's only had that small amount of time to train? Is it really the right thing to put him in? But that's the life of a manager, isn't it, having to make those big decisions, and at the moment it doesn't look like the right one.
Adjumang has scored for Derby, and they lead by 1-0, and they are heading into the Championship playoff positions, would you believe it? Langas in the centre circle for Derby, square ball to Ozo. Ozo wide left to Elder, back in field to Ozo again on the halfway line, and he rolls the ball up the near side touchline. Adjumang is onto it, 1-on-1 here with Campbell. Adjumang trying to burst in between Campbell and Price. Between them, they just about do enough for West Brom. How will West Brom react here? We're halfway through the 3 minutes of added time in the first half. They're behind again under Eric Ramsey. It's a real test of character, isn't it, Courtney, for West Brom?
Yeah, it is, and they'll be hoping there's not a repeat of against Norwich, but I think I mentioned it before. It 1-0, and they had opportunities. West Bromwich Junior hit the post, and then it sort of, after the second goal, really went pear-shaped. So they've got to work on the basis that they've been more than been in this game. They've been the better side, to be quite honest, but what they have to improve on is what they do in the final third. And as much as I don't think they deserve to be behind West Brom, I don't think they deserve to be in front either, because they've not created enough.
Well, one of the issues under Ryan Mason was they couldn't take their chances ultimately, and when the couple of chances have come West Brom's way tonight, Malumbi and Campbell, the story has been the same. Derby 1, West Brom 0 is the latest score on talkSPORT 2. The ball is smacked up into the air by Brewster, comes down from a very heady height, and it's nodded away by Campbell for West Bromwich Albion. And Malumbi is fouled. Clark all over the back of him. Clark not happy with Malumbi. Free kick nonetheless given to West Bromwich Albion. We've got about 15 seconds of added time left in the first half. One last chance for O'Leary, the goalkeeper, to hammer the ball forward. You have to feel for the goalkeeper because it's such a lonely and exposed position, particularly when you make mistakes like he's done. Forward by O'Leary, high into the penalty area towards Phillips, and the free kick bounces down inside the area. Looked like it might have bounced up onto the arm of Brewster for a moment there. Brewster clears, and that is the half-time whistle. Derby heading into the playoffs in the Championship, but the score does not really reflect the first 48 minutes that we've seen here at Pride Park. West Brom had two very good chances from Malumbi and Campbell, couldn't convert either of them, and Derby take full advantage after a mistake by the new West Bromwich Albion goalkeeper. Max O'Leary going up to what looked like to make a simple take from a Callum free kick, but he dropped the ball, and there was Derby's fox in the box, Patrick Acheman to bundle it home from close range. And at half-time, West Brom behind under Eric Ramsey again. Derby 1, West Brom 0.
Well, Eric Ramsey knew it was a risk picking Max O'Leary tonight, as Joe mentioned, just an hour with his new teammates on the training field. He gave him the opportunity after the signing from Bristol City, and ultimately it hasn't worked out, at least not for now at the halfway point. He had nothing to do up until that point, Courtney, and when he was called upon, he made a mistake, which has put them behind in the game. I feel for him a little bit. Manager's call is probably not the right one for me.
Yeah, I'm the same. Look, it probably come good in the end, Max O'Leary, but it's normally what we say in terms of the mark of a good goalkeeper. When you've got nothing to do, but then you're called upon, can you keep your concentration? Can you do your best for your team? And unfortunately for him, at that moment, he drops the ball, and Joe mentioned it in commentary, it's such an exposing position because you make a mistake, and 99 times out of 100 it's in the back of the net, so you can't help but feel from him on a human level. But yeah, going back to that decision from Eric Ramsey, was it the right thing to put him in? And at the moment it doesn't look like that's the case.
Yeah, still might come with a few worldly saves in the second half to win his side 3 points. So a big 45 minutes ahead for Max O'Leary, who wants to redeem himself. Eric Ramsey ultimately, though, should feel pretty pleased by what he saw from his side in that first half, particularly off the back of a 5-0 drubbing. They were much more resolute, much better organised, defended much better, and even carried a threat.
Yeah, and that's just, it has to be consistent though, and I think that's probably the problem with West Brom. We've seen it in fits and starts. The Leicester game that me and Joe did, I thought they were at times pretty good that night as well, and were undone by a late Fatawu goal. But I think there's definitely positives to take. They look very organised, and certainly in that new formation as well, everyone I think looks a lot more settled in what they're doing and knowing their role. And Hegerberg, I mentioned, I thought he was really good in terms of his all-round build-up play. He just wasn't necessarily getting the service from his teammates. So as much as I think they played well and they don't deserve to be losing, I don't necessarily think they did enough in that game, or at least in the first half, to deserve to be winning. Although that chance for Campbell was a real big one, and I think he'd want that back again because he should be hitting the target at bare minimum. I think if he does hit the target from that sort of range, West Brom probably do go 1-0 up.
Fragile confidence at West Brom at the moment, so I'm intrigued to see how they respond to going behind. They'll feel aggrieved, of course, because they were probably the side who played better in the first half. They need to make sure the mistake doesn't affect them either, and that they don't buckle now, really. I think this is a test of character.
Yeah, it is, and I think they dealt with the last few minutes well, actually, because after the goal, it's probably the best, not probably, most certainly the best that we saw of Derby, because they were tepid, if we're being really honest, in most of that game. I mentioned it, sort of almost a paint by numbers at times. They were doing the right things in perceivably the right order, but in terms of the urgency and the purpose, it was non-existent. So it also sort of hang on how Derby come out in this second half. I mean, if saw the face of John Eustace, I think he'll definitely have a few words at half time, but I think you're right, they need to keep that the confidence that they've accrued from most of that first half and try and not fall apart. But it's the final third again for West Brom, and whether it be under Eric Ramsey, whether it be under Ryan Mason, that's where it's gone wrong this season for West Brom. They've not taken their chances, especially in this latter half of the season. You know, earlier on they were scoring goals, but they seem to have dried up, and the opportunities are dried up, and that's what needs to improve again.
Then one shot in the first half, Derby County, thanks to Max O'Leary dropping the ball at the feet of Patrick Ajumak. How do they carry more of a threat in this second half? I asked before the game if they were going to take the game, carry the game to West Bromwich Albion. We've seen nothing from them.
No, and it's the energy. It's weird, because they don't look tired. I think you can tell when the players are playing slow and it's fatigue and it's tiredness, you can tell. It's not that. It's just a lack of urgency, and why they're playing in that way, who knows? And as I say, I don't think that was the plan, because sometimes you do that. You play slowly, you wear teams down, you want to bring that team onto you, lull them into a false sense of security, so then you can exploit the gaps that get left, and whether that be gaps in the midfield or over the top. But that wasn't the case. You can very much tell, because one, the way that they played when they did break lines Derby, there was still no change in pace, and also John Eustace's face is painting that picture and telling that story for us very clearly. He's not a happy man. So the tempo of which they're playing needs to change. And once they do that, they've got the players that can go and help. Bobby Clark, we mentioned before the game, and he's been non-existent. So it wouldn't surprise me if John Eustace will be looking to his bench and making changes sooner rather than later, because I think any player today for Derby County, if they got dragged at half time, I don't think they could argue, because the lack of urgency and purpose has been staggering.
He made 5 changes coming into it. We'll see if John Eustace wants to make changes at the break in this one. Courtney Sweet-McKirk and Joe Shern will be back with you very shortly at Pride Park, with Derby County and West Bromwich Albion by a 0-0. Elsewhere this evening, full-time whistle just gone in the Women's Super League. Finished Everton 0, Brighton and Hove Albion 1, and with 53 minutes on the clock, still goalless in the Scottish Championship between Arbroath and Greenock Morton. The second half on the way. A big mistake from Max O'Leary, allowing Patrick Ajuman to get his 8th of the season. As it stands, Derby heading toward the Championship's top 6. Derby County 1, West Bromwich Albion 0.
talkSPORT 2 is your dynamic destination for all the latest sporting action, featuring live commentary of all the biggest events, including football, PGA golf, horse racing, Premiership rugby, cricket, boxing, and everything hitting drama of the NFL. Plus, talkSPORT 2's official betting partner, William Hill, is always on hand with the insight and in-depth analysis you need. talkSPORT 2's official betting partner, William Hill. 18 months to gamble where gold.
We interrupt your usual broadcast with something unexpected from Currys.
So, Currys will give me £10 off eligible new tag if I bring in any piece of old tag.
Yeah, we recycle it too, even if you didn't buy it from us. We call it cash for trash.
So, can I bring in a broken kettle?
Yes.
A lawnmower?
Sure.
An iron?
Yeah.
How about this?
I know. There's someone in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
£10 cash for trash at Currys. Is it unexpected or just beyond expectations? GB only. Then spend the £50 to redeem. T's and C's apply.
The all-electric Ford E-Transit Custom, loaded with doing power. And now, you could win one. Take a test drive in any Transit Custom to enter, and be in with a chance of winning a Ford E-Transit Custom. Search Win a Ford E-Transit Custom and book online. To enter, take a test drive between the 1st of January and the 28th of February. Ready, set, Ford. T's and C's apply. 25 plus only. For details, see Ford.co.uk.
Something unexpected has arrived in Happy Meal. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Hello Kitty and friends are teaming up for the ultimate collab. Joining your little ones on a fun-fueled adventure. Some fun, some food, it's all inside this Happy Meal. Until 2nd of February. from 11 a.m. includes one pre-selected book of sauce while stocks last.
You probably didn't know my dad, Robert, but when he was alive, he made a will and left a gift to Macmillan Cancer Support. It means that in many ways he still lives on. The advisor, helping a patient over the phone on Macmillan's support line. Dad made that happen. The nurse, advising a mastectomy patient on what to wear to her son's wedding. That was also because of him. Almost a third of Macmillan's vital services are funded by gifts and wills from people just like my dad and you. So search Macmillan Legacy today and help them do whatever it takes.
At Lidl, get great deals on award-winning fruit and veg with Pick of the Week. Save up to 35% with cauliflower now just 99p each. And with Lidl Plus, get red grapefruit for only 29p. In store now. Lidl, more to value. Limited offer subject to availability. Selected stores, GB only. Prices correct on 20th of the 1st. 18 plus terms apply. See lidl.co.uk/LPTV.
Every emotion and total devotion. Let's get on. This is talkSPORT 2. It's an awe-inspiring Saturday afternoon of game day football on talkSPORT. The Hammers must take on the Black Caps. Pre-match bravado begins at 11 with full match commentary at West Ham versus Sunderland at 12:30. It's a truly spectacular Saturday of live and exclusive Premier League football on talkSPORT.
Coming soon, the 2026 FIFA World Cup live on talkSPORT and talkSPORT 2. 48 teams, 39 days, 3 host countries, 1 summer of unbelievable, unbeatable sporting drama.
It's a world-class free kick from a world-class player.
Unrivaled kid-by-kid commentary of every single game across the entire tournament.
Comes to the front, what hits the post and it's gone in!
The 2026 FIFA World Cup starts this June on talkSPORT and talkSPORT 2.
It's the totally immersive football experience. Right for it.
EFL Live
On talkSPORT 2.
Derby free kick, 90 seconds of the first half remaining, normal time anyway. Callum Elvis to deliver, high left footed, oh no, he's dropped it, and it's bundled in by Anchiman! A poacher's goal, but a nightmare moment on his West Bromwich Albion debut for Max O'Leary.
Adrian, he has to be there in the right time, at the right place, and he does just that, and that's what you want from your forwards. He's barely been in the game, to be quite honest.
West Bromwich Albion's fortunes at the moment, particularly away from home, behind on the road yet again. Derby 1, West Brom 0.
Well, Derby County have been disappointing so far in the Championship this evening. Max O'Leary's mistake allowing Patrick Agerman to put them in front. They've had 1 shot, they've got 1 goal. Campbell and Malumbi, good chances for the visitors who are on their way now to an 11th straight away defeat. First time that would have happened to the Baggies in 135 years. The second half on the way very shortly here on talkSPORT 2. There is live Premier League football on the talkSPORT network tomorrow afternoon, and another huge game at the London Stadium awaits for West Ham and Nuno Espirito Santo.
It's never really felt much like home. Mood amongst the West Ham supporters style between toxic and apathetic. There's only one question. What happens next?
We want more because in this situation it requires much more from each other.
Tottenham 1, West Ham 2. Callum Wilson, the hero for West Ham.
It only takes 1 goal in the Premier League and all of a sudden
4 points of safety. Back to the play. Oh, what a brilliant goal.
It's when I thought things couldn't get any better at the stadium than at the moment.
the improvement in the club, and so the manager's fantastic.
That's going to be another important 3 points for Sunderland as they move to 8th in the table.
Huge game tomorrow for West Ham United as they take on Sunderland, who have players returning from the Africa Cup of Nations and rejoining their squad. They've had a wonderful season since promotion, haven't they? West Ham United could well be a fixture on EFL All Access next season. They need to start picking up points. It's not a bad thing, by the way. We want them. Why not? By the way, more live football coming for you across the network this weekend as well. Remember, Game Day Live with Adrian Durham, Alan Pardew and Matt Murray from 2:30 tomorrow. Big Sunday for us on talkSPORT 2, midday South Coast derby between Portsmouth and Southampton. Game Day Live with Sam Matterface, Mickey Gray and Perry Groves over on talkSPORT from 1:30, including that massive game in the Premier League between Arsenal and Manchester United. And a choice of listening on Monday evening from the Premier League and the Championship. 8 o'clock starts for both at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. Everton will host Leeds over on talkSPORT. That's an exclusive. And we will have Norwich City against Coventry City here on talkSPORT 2. That's an exclusive. So make sure you're with us. Download the talkSPORT app. You can move seamlessly if you're out and about over the weekend. You can also ask your smart speaker for talkSPORT or talkSPORT 2. And you can also, if you go on the talkSPORT app, move seamlessly between the two. DAB, I've got that right, smart speaker. Yeah, I've got it all. Yeah, okay, all right. Let's head back to Pride Park to join Courtney Sweetman-Kirk and Joe Shannon as the players just about emerge for the start of the second half. The West Brom players are there. The Derby County players not just yet. Looks like they might be getting a rather long talking to from John Eustace. But I will hand over as the players begin to emerge to Joe Shannon and Courtney Sweetman-Kirk to see if this ridiculous away run for West Bromwich Albion continues or whether they can get a morale-lifting win. First win for Eric Ramsey as Baggy's boss in the second half here on talkSPORT 2. Joe.
Well, it could equal a losing run on the road that goes back to 135 years for West Bromwich Albion. 11 consecutive defeats between November 1890 and November 1891. That is the prospect of horrible record breaking that is staring them in the face at the moment. They haven't elected to make any changes at half-time, Eric Ramsey's team, because they are harshly 1-0 down, I think, as we await the start of the second half here. Patrick Adjumang with the only goal of the game so far. That is sending Derby into the Championship playoff position. 6th spot Derby would be in, and only 2 points behind Millwall, above them in 5th. So of course all the teams around Derby, just like West Brom, will have games in hand. Derby in the white and black, West Brom in the yellow and green, and West Brom get the second half underway 1-0 down. From right to left, with Derby playing from left to right towards the south end of the stadium, which is where the most vocal Derby fans are housed. So no changes for either team in the break. Zetterstrom is the Derby goalkeeper. Ward, Langas, Bart and Elder are in the back four. Travis and Ozo holding. Brenton, Diaz, Clark and Brewster in support of goal scorer Adjumang up front. And for West Bromwich Albion, O'Leary is in goal, with Phillips sending a high diagonal ball forward now. Phillips, Campbell and Bielik in the back three. Styles and Price the wing-backs. The two in midfield are Malumbi and Diakite, with Inning Jr. and Johnston in support of Hegeber up front. I wonder what the message from Eric Ramsey was at half-time. We'll get a word from Courtney Sweetman-Kirk in just a moment. Covering touch by defender Joe Ward for Derby. Scoops the ball high and away to the edge of the penalty area, only as far as Isaac Price. Back into the box with a low ball. Travis is there to intercept for Derby, who go back to Ozo. His touch is heavy. One back by West Brom. Oh, a really poor ball. Squared by Malumbi. Nowhere near Alma Hegeber. And it'll be cleared upfield by Ward. Derby get away with it, but they still lead 1-0. And now here they come forward on the counter-attack with Adjumang waving down the right-hand side and into the penalty area. Double sliding challenge on Adjumang. Two players came across there, Diakite and Phillips, and it ends with West Brom having the ball back. An action-packed start to the second half. Here's Courtney Sweetman-Kirk.
Yeah, there's been a better start from Derby, that's for sure, because they were so slow for the majority of the first half. And West Brom playing their part too. I think if I was Eric Ramsey, I'd say go and press that back Derby back line.
Johnston with a good cross, all the way to the back post, and Hegeber can't reach it. Good ball towards Johnston, down the inside right channel. He galloped after it, beat Danny Bart to the ball, hooked in a deep cross to the far post. Hegeber couldn't get there, and it stays out of play. Another warning for Derby County. I don't know how they're 1-0 up in this game.
No, and they can't do a lot more than that, really. West Brom, it's just an awkward height for Hegeber, and he's trying to sort of jump and get his leg to it. It's sort of the wrong angle to try and head it, and I think he's probably bothered about colliding with the post as well. But as I was mentioning, especially the way that how slowly Derby are playing it around the back, and you see at times they look fragile. If I was West Brom and Eric Ramsey, I'd go and press them, try and get them under some pressure early, which they're already doing, and then win the ball back in high areas and try and get crosses in the box like we've just saw.
A very ponderous look to the Derby performance so far. Already John Eustace is out to the edge of his technical area. Lots of Derby fans still retaking their seats early in the second half. Another big home crowd at Pride Park, 30,000 or so. Ward accelerates down the near side, the right for Derby. Looks for Ben Breton Diaz. The Chilean plays it back to Ward, and now Travis, middle of the West Brom half. West Brom with everybody back behind the ball. Heading for an 11th straight away defeat. This would be the first away defeat under Eric Ramsey, and the third from 3 under his stewardship. Out on the left-hand side is Elder for Derby County. The white shirts, black shorts and white socks. Barred for Derby now. Across to Langas. Derby, whose next game is away at Bristol City. Then they have a home game against Ipswich Town in the Championship. So victory tonight really imperative for their top 6 chances, the way things look in the table at the moment. But they're not playing like a top 6 team as they give the ball away yet again, Courtney.
No, and John Eustace there holds his hands up in the air, relatively easy pass, and actually the pace and the purpose has been a lot better initially in the second half, but still, in terms of that quality on the ball, it's very much been lacking for Derby County tonight.
He will bring you the South Coast Derby on talkSPORT 2 on Sunday. That's Portsmouth against Southampton, always a cracker. That game in the south of England. And then we'll be off to East Anglia for Norwich against Coventry on the Monday Night Football on talkSPORT 2. Coventry, of course, the championship leaders. Away by Langas for Derby, slices the clearance up into the dark night sky. It's very cold here in the East Midlands tonight. The wind is sweeping around the stadium at points. West Brom have got a throw. Campbell quickly back to O'Leary, who's had nothing to do in the game, really. Ball picked the ball out of the back of his net, and it was his error, O'Leary, that has led to the only goal of the game so far. Poor ball forward by Bierlich for West Bromwich Albion, but he stretches to make an interception on the halfway line. Johnston jigs away from 2 in wide, plays it back to Price, and now Phillips in the middle of the trio of centre halves. Nat Phillips, the former Derby County loanee, with that long sleeve shirt on. Ball out to the right, and Bierlich wriggles his way towards the halfway line. Hegeber turns away from Bart, was brought down, chopped down from behind. That could be a yellow card. I wonder what the decision of the referee will be here, Courtney Sweetman-Kerr.
I think it should be. Doesn't look like he's calling the centre half to him, does it, the referee? But a couple of times now, with that little battle where Hegeber got the better. Danny Batson, love it because he drops in and he touches the ball with the outside of his foot, Hegeber, and because he's got that low centre of gravity, and over the first few yards he's quite nippy. A couple of times now, so it should have been a yellow card in my opinion.
Good record Derby have got against West Brom, particularly here at Pride Park. They've beaten them twice at the Hawthorns already this season in League and Cup. Long way out, Callum Stiles with a shot for West Brom, and it's relatively easily gathered by Jakob Winnell-Zetterstrom in the Derby goal.
Yeah, we're right behind that one. He hits it well enough actually, it's a good strike, but straight at Zetterstrom, it's one you're expecting the goalkeeper to come and collect, but Derby keep giving the ball away, the quality on the ball is so poor.
1-0 to Derby, 6.5 minutes into the second half. Forward ball by Johnston up the inside right. Slide will pass into the penalty area. Ealing Jr. was too slow to pick up on it, and it's trickled out to play for a goal kick to Derby, who have O'Donnell on the bench, along with Forsyth, Blackett-Taylor, Vyman, Salverson, Thompson, Jackson, Sanderson and Fraulo. And the West Brom subs are Griffiths, Meppen, Wallace, Matcher, DK, Gilchrist, Mowat and Taylor. I wonder how long it'll be before John Eustace looks to the Derby bench, because the way they're playing, very fortunate to be 1-0 up. They give it away again this time through Elder. West Brom thought they'd won it back on the halfway line. In the end, the throw goes Derby's way. And Derby have had the luck in the game so far, but can it really carry on like this over 90 minutes for Derby?
I don't think so. They need to start playing better. Certainly, foul there. Jermaine pulled back and down in the referee's mind there when he brandishes the yellow card that's the right decision. It was Malumbi that pulls Ajiman back.
Inside the centre circle, cynical foul, right in front of the referee, Anthony Backhouse. And next week on the talkSPORT network, we've got the final games of the league phase in the Champions League and the Europa League. Make sure you download our free app to be across all of that. next month, the FA Cup fourth round. And as part of that, coverage of West Brom's trip to Norwich. West Brom are still in the FA Cup. It's an away game though. Forward by Elder for Derby, into the penalty area. Header away by Nat Phillips again for West Bromwich Albion. The loose ball has come back to Brendan Diaz, who steers a good pass into the feet of Ward. Ward with a low ball in, really poor. Cleared away on the half volley by the first man, Campbell. The next goal is the absolute key in this game. 8 minutes into the second half. If Derby do get it, then that should be enough. But if West Brom get themselves back into the game, they'll feel they can pick up at least a point, if not more.
Yeah, it's crucial. Look at Ward there. After he strikes that ball and hits the first man, shakes his head because he knows it's not good enough. And it's starting to look more purposeful, Derby, I would say, but the quality is still lacking. And I'm just still worried about their midfield or lack of, to be quite frank. It's sort of non-existent. They're dropping both. Ozo and Travis are dropping so deep at times to get on the ball that there's just then such a massive gap between defence and midfield, and Bobby Clark's then sort of going into the forward line, so it's almost 2 banks of 5 at times. It's odd.
Derby's last home win here on New Year's Day. Impressive victory it was against Middlesbrough. Desperate tonight, Derby, to back up the consecutive away victories that they've secured in the Championship at Preston North End and at Charlton in midweek. Derby 1, West Bromwich Albion 0. This is talkSPORT 2. Thank you for joining us on this chilly Friday night in the East Midlands. Phillips for West Bromwich Albion, and now Campbell midway inside his own half the field. Campbell carries the ball forward up to the halfway line, nudges it to his left, and Styles in the red boots, square to Diakite, and now Malumbi looks up, just wanting options here. Jason Malumbi, square ball to Campbell. Eric Ramsey in conversation, the West Brom manager, with his assistants in the dugout. Good backheader by Joe Ward to the feet of Zetterstrom, all in lumen, bright orange, fluorescent orange, the goalkeeper. Now Clark in the centre circle for Derby. Tackled from behind by Diakite, no foul. Malumbi can break for West Brom. To his left is Inning Jr. Here is Inning Jr. left-handed to the penalty area. Low ball in. Fits to the back post, and Price hits it over the top on the half volley. Not an easy chance, but nowhere near the target.
No, but the passage of play from West Brom is good, and actually I thought initially that's better from Derby, getting the ball into Bobby Clark, who's dropped in off the forward line a little bit, but Diakite pickpockets him. Inning Jr., great ball across, and Price, I think he's got a little bit more time than he thinks there. He's trying to take that on first time. It's difficult because there's bags of pace on the ball, but he can take a touch there because there's no Derby County player probably within 5 or 10 yards of him, but it's the wrong decision, probably just a lack of awareness of who's around him.
Plenty of West Brom subs warming up at the moment, including Madger and DK. West Brom find themselves behind on the road again, and of course just generally their league form is poor. 8 defeats in their last 10, home and away, in the Championship. They last lost 5 league games in a row, which is what they're heading to do tonight, in 2018 when they were still a Premier League club. Callum Elder will take a throw for Derby away on the far side down left. Well, 11 minutes into the second half, and we said just before half time Derby can't be as bad as they were in the first half. Well, maybe they can, yet they're still leading.
I think there's changes coming. I'm just looking at John Eustace speaking to his assistant, who's got looks like the set pieces in his hand. So he'll be probably ready to show whoever's coming on where they need to be. I'm not surprised they're changing it because they know they're running a risk. Derby County, if they continue like this, then the next goal may go to West Brom rather than Derby.
I think it's Matt Gardner with the woolly hat on, speaking to John Eustace. Keith Downing is there as well, another of the Derby assistants. Derby have the lead, but it's certainly not been a performance of playoff chasers up to this point. Here goes Clark for Derby, surging down the inside left, half blocked off by Bierlich. The loose ball retrieved by Brewster, and then Travis goes in to win it back midway inside the West Brom half. Ozo will shepherd the ball to the halfway line, gets possession back from Bart, and now Joe Ward for Derby over the halfway line. He's carried the ball out to the right. Brendan Diaz in a crossing position, attacking the right edge of the penalty area, but his touch was heavy. Styles then cannoned the ball off the knee of Brendan Diaz, who would be a candidate to go off, I think, It's flown out of play for a goal kick to West Brom, nearly an hour gone.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be a triple change, Joe. And that probably tells you a lot in terms of Derby County's performance. It's not something that you see very often, 13 minutes into the second half, but it shows you how poorly Derby have played and how fortunate they are to be 1-up.
Ball is in the centre circle with Malumbi, who evades the challenge of Clark and then stumbles, is caught by Clark, and here comes the yellow card out of the pocket of the referee for Travis, who made the initial challenge. Diakite not happy with Clark, and he's making his point and his view on the challenge very clear. Certainly a booking for the Derby captain, and certainly changes on the way, I think, for both teams. It looks like subs are coming up.
So triple subs potentially by the look of it, so change at the station.
Well, I'll get the notepad ready, Courtney. You can watch the game. Here we go. Plenty of changes on the way.
It's the fourth official I feel sorry for. How many balls has he got?
Well, he'll need 6 at the moment, won't he? And that's if he can keep across all of the numbers correctly, which isn't always the case. 59 minutes gone on talkSPORT 2. Derby into the playoffs at the moment. West Brom will stay 3 points clear of the Championship relegation zone. They've got a free kick, slither into Derby territory. Standing over the ball is Callum Styles. I don't know whether Derby want to make a change or whether West Brom do before the free kick is taken. Jed Wallace is down at pitch side for West Bromwich Albion, ever dependable going forward. Jed Wallace, he's had an injury-hit season. Forward by Styles from the free kick, high to the back post. George Campbell will keep it in play, hooks it over his shoulder, cleared away by Derby, only as far as Price to loft it back into the penalty area. Jumping to clear is Ward, it's come out to Malumbi. Nudges it wide towards the left. Diakite can't get there. Just lacking that refinement in the final third at the moment. West Bromwich Albion, that sharpness in their play. Diakite has, well, accidentally tripped Ward, but it is a free kick, whether it was an accident or not. Free kick to Derby in there. Right back position. Plenty of changes afoot. Wallace and DK ready to come on for West Bromwich Albion. I think they're going to go first. Josh Matcher is coming on as well. So Matcher for Hegeber. That is like for like, we know that. Johnston coming off as well. And he'll be replaced by Jed Wallace, who did score recently away from home in the FA Cup victory at Swansea, a victory on penalties. And Callum Styles replaced by DK. So attacking changes certainly for West Brom, Courtney.
And I think what it will mean is Jed Wallace, he's going to play as one of the right wing backs. That means that Price then sits into the midfield, and I think he'll feel better being there a little more central. And we've got Jack, DK, whether it's more of a 3-5-2 now and adding that attacking impetus.
DK is certainly the focal point as the front man. He's scored in a long time, Darryl DK, since last May. Terrible injury problems that blighted his West Brom career. Poor challenge by Elder on Wallace and a free kick to West Brom. There's been no real change in the Derby performance levels over the course of the first hour of the game here. Though they lead 1-0, it's been very unconvincing. Corey Blackett-Taylor and Oscar Fraulo, a recent signing, ready to come on for Derby. Header away by Barr for Derby from the edge of his own penalty area. Given away yet again by Elder. Drops down to Campbell. Midway inside the Derby half. Sweeping ball out to the left-hand side where Eddie Jr. is waiting. Plenty in the middle. Deflection on the cross. Zetterstrom does well to get across and prevent it going behind for a corner. Liam Thompson is going to come on for Derby as well. So absolutely right, Courtney. A triple change for the Rams upcoming, and I'm sure the home fans will feel not before time.
Yeah, they'll feel more than happy with that, because they won't be happy with what they've seen. Substitutes needs to come on and give Derby that attacking impetus, because if anything, so West Brom the first to make the triple subs, and it seems to have worked for them. Jed Wallace straight away in the thick of it, gets on the ball, draws the foul, and Derby looking very lacklustre at the moment.
Well, the referee has made an accidental interception. And West Brom will get the ball back in the centre circle. Here come the changes. He's been well shackled tonight, Bobby Clark, and he will trudge up here to be replaced by the Dane Fraulo. It's a measure of how well West Brom have done in keeping him quiet. Another change in midfield for Derby sees Ozo go off to be replaced by Thompson. That is like for like. And Brewster leaving the field as well. Again, like for like this change. Blackett Taylor, who started against his former club Charlton in midweek.
Yeah, and I don't think, as I mentioned, any of those players can play. It's been a real tough night, really, for the fans more than anything. Just we nipped down to the press room quickly, and I could hear some of them in the concourse saying, I don't know how we 1-0 up, and I would certainly concur with that.
And yet they still remain 1-0 into the lead at Derby County. Triple change for the visitors, followed very quickly by a triple change for the home team. Nearly 20 minutes into the second half now. Poor quality game in the Championship up to this point, but plenty of jeopardy involved in both the playoff fights and the relegation battle. Derby up to 6th as it stands. Here is Campbell for West Bromwich Albion. Long ball thundered down the middle, header away by Bart, and the loose ball retrieved by Price. Now Madger for West Brom, 25 yards out, sets up Wallace on the overlap with a great cross. DK flung himself at it, cleared away, getting Junior with the shot. That's blocked as it was goal bound, turned away by Langas. West Bromwich Albion threatening an equaliser, but they couldn't quite get it. DK really threw himself at that ball, not sure how he didn't make contact. Derby counter now. In the middle of midfield is Thompson, his first couple of touches of the ball. Wide right is Fraulo. Adjelang in the middle. Fraulo with a very deep crossover here. Blackett Taylor will do well to keep it in, and he has not done. Down by the dead ball line. It's a goal kick to West Bromwich Albion. Courtney Sweetman-Kirk, bit of excitement there in this second half.
Yeah, there was, and Thompson on the ball there for Derby does so well on the counter-attack. Great feet, but wasted by Fraulo in the end. And as you say, DK, they're not sure how he doesn't get a touch on that. Seems to throw his body at it. Great ball in the box, and the follow-up was blocked as well. And you can't help but feel the next goal, if there is to be one, is going to be a West Brom one.
Fraulo in the red boots on the halfway line for Derby, turning away from Price, going backwards to Travis. Derby looking to get a little more midfield steal into the centre of the park, with Thompson having come on. Brett Diaz rolling the ball backwards and backflip to Ward, and now Travis on the halfway line carries it forward towards the midway point of the West Brom half. Is fouled, tackled from behind by DK, and a free kick to Derby. Eric Ramsey must be wondering, Courtney, how West Brom are behind.
Yeah, it's going to be very disappointing, because I'm sure in terms of from the process and the metrics, they're probably delivering, at least in the first two thirds, defensive thirds and the midfield third, what he wanted and what they've been working on. It's just that cutting edge, isn't it, in the final third, and also that probably comes from a little bit of confidence, and when you're on a losing run away from home the way they are, you don't really get the rub of the green.
Free kick for Derby, and Ward has smacked it against the first man in the wall, Madger, who can't have been the requisite 10 yards away. And John Eustace making the point to the fourth official, and Derby players on the field making the point to the referee.
Yeah, he 100% wasn't, and actually he was quite clever, because he kept nicking half a yard. But what I'm really surprised at is Ward, he doesn't say anything to the referee, so when the referee's back turned, he nicks a few yards, Madger, but Ward doesn't say anything.
Well, the assistant was right in front of it. We were right in front of it. We're only 10-15 rows from the edge of the pitch here. Derby giving away. One back by Wallace, rampaging down the right. Early ball in towards Madger, cleared away by Langas. One bounce and the clearance away on the half volley. We're nearly into the final quarter of the game. Derby counter. Adjelang has got Bretton Diaz ahead of him. Bretton Diaz is in behind him, clear on goal! And he's rolled it wide from the angle. O'Leary had it covered anyway. Stays just 1-0 to Derby.
He scuffs it, Joe. You don't get the right connection at all. It's a mistake from West Brom. Adjelang as well. They pounce on it. It's the turn, and then the weight of pass by Adjelang down just to the right-hand side of the pitch, probably 30 yards down. He rolls it down the side of the centre half. Brereton Diaz making that into out one. Run times it perfectly. First touch sets him up, and you think he just strike it across goal, which he tries to do. Instead of hitting it with the laces across the goal, he completely scuffs it.
Header away by Campbell for West Brom, who get away with it themselves there. Derby 1, West Brom 0. West Brom have it with Sam Illing Jr. on the halfway line, the man on loan from Aston Villa, jinking away from Fraulo, rolling it square to Diakite. West Brom will take any kind of result tonight, win or draw. They'd be happy with a point, certainly at this stage, with a little over 20 minutes to go. The West Brom fans think that Zetterstrom has come out of his penalty area to claim, but they're a long way away from it. Officials said no. Brendan Diaz near side for Derby, back to Travis. At what point do Derby really start to manage the game and think, well, we're not playing well, but we might as well hold what we have?
Not just yet. Only ticking into the 25th minute nearly of this half, so I think it's a very, very dangerous game to try and sit in now and soak up the pressure, especially with the way that they've played it. It's hard enough doing that when you've played well, but when you know in yourself that you're not playing particularly well, it's even more difficult. So I think there's definitely an increased energy at times, and that sometimes off the back of actually a West Brom attack, but it's better in fits and starts from Derby County. They need to show more of that attacking impetus.
Well, there's definitely pressure at the bottom end of the Premier League. West Ham take on Sunderland tomorrow, live over on talkSPORT. It's a 12:30 kick-off, live and exclusive from the Premier League. And on Sunday, the South Coast derby between Portsmouth and Southampton, midday at Fratton Park, live here on talkSPORT 2. Here is Elder for Derby, carrying the ball over the halfway line, rolling it forward to Fraulo, back first time to Travis. Derby have got a bit of grip on the game, I think, since the substitutions. 20 minutes to go, they're 1-0 up. Ward on the near side, the right, nudges it wide to Brendan Diaz, right in front of us here, midway inside the West Brom half. Back it goes now to Langas and Bart, the deepest Derby outfield player. Threads the ball left to Elder on the far side. A little touch, glancing touch infield by Blackett-Taylor. Thompson diminutive with that low centre of gravity, wrestles away from the challenger Price and rolls the ball backwards again to Bart. Little touch to his goalkeeper, and Derby can build from the back again. But they do look at more stable force in midfield since John Eustace made his 3 changes call.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that, and I like the way that Thompson gets on the ball as well. Makes things happen, and certainly a renewed energy about them. Just sometimes, I think, especially out on his right-hand side, actually, when it comes out to Brendan Diaz, he really seems to slow the play down and almost hesitates, waits, then plays a 5-yard pass inside, which is fine. But if you can do that on 1 and 2 touch, I'd like him to do it more quickly, because the rest of the tempo has increased for everyone else in the team, but he just seems to be still in the old mindset of the way they've been playing.
Good diagonal ball by Travis, out to the left, Blackett-Taylor, left corner of the penalty area, 2 in the middle, Blackett-Taylor twisting and turning to the dead ball line. He tries a cross, it goes behind off Bierlich. It's a corner for Derby in front of the South stand.
Yeah, it's been a great ball, the fans are responding there, up on their feet and clapping their team along. The only thing I will say there is Fraulo was in a great position. I think Blackett-Taylor sees it trying to drive and get to the byline and get the crossing. I think if he looks up a little bit earlier, there's a cut back 12 yards out, and Fraulo's in a really good position because all of the West Brom defenders are clapped almost onto the goal line.
Derby 6th in the Championship, a point clear of Preston in 7th, 2 clear of Watford, who would have 2 games in hand. But I suppose it's better to have the points first and foremost. Ward will take a corner right-footed and in swinging. Everybody back in a yellow and green shirt for West Brom. In by Ward. The ball spins off the head of Illing Jr. Goalkeeper can't get there. He can't punch it clear, O'Leary. It's not back out wide to Ward, but the referee's assistant has his flag up on the near side of the field. West Brom have got a free kick, but it was very unconvincing from O'Leary. He was just lost in a melee of bodies there, the goalkeeper. Not the biggest, and it showed there, I think, Courtney.
Yeah, and I don't know why he comes for that ball, because there's a number of players and his own defenders and then Derby County players in front of him. He did not look convincing whatsoever. And if I'm Derby now, seeing what I've seen, it's fine to make one mistake, but it's how you react from that. And again, just the decision making there from O'Leary, I'm not convinced. So if I, as I said, if I was Derby County, every corner, every cross, put it on top of the goalkeeper and put him under pressure, because he does not look comfortable.
Some Derby fans yelling up in front of us, Courtney, they can't be heading for the exits already, surely. Not with 17 minutes to go.
Yeah, you wouldn't think so.
It is cold, but
quickly they can. The TV cameras are here tonight. Maybe they'll catch the rest on the TV.
Well, John Eustace is calling his Derby players over here live on talkSPORT 2 for a quick chat while treatment continues in the penalty area for the West Brom man Christian Bielik. Lots of West Brom discussions ongoing at the moment. What have West Brom been missing ultimately tonight? Is it that finishing touch the only thing that has let them down?
Yeah, it is the quality in the final third getting into there. There's been elements where they've done quite well. I think that the big chance was Campbell, wasn't it, in the first half? And actually, Jed Wallace, since he's come on, he's brilliant. You know what you're going to get from him in terms of him when he's crossing the ball in wide areas, but they've not done that enough, and it's Bielik, isn't he? You see he's had his arm, I think, strapped up earlier, and
looks like he's really hurt it.
yeah, and it's what they've done is they've almost folded it into his shirt to create a sling, sort of makeshift, and left shoulder. I said at half time, he might struggle with it once he stops, and maybe took another knock on it there from the corner, and he's certainly not happy with it.
Along comes Chris Mepham, who is certainly a ready-made replacement, the former Bournemouth man who won promotion to the Premier League on loan from Sunderland last season. Derby 1, West Bromwich Albion 0, 16 minutes to go. So Bielik has been forced off, as well as Grant. That's two players who've left the field injured for West Brom tonight. Floodlights on at Pride Park, a half header away by Bart, midway inside his own half. DK emerges through a crowd of bodies with the ball, tries to bustle his way forward, but Derby get the free kick anyway for the initial challenge on Danny Bart, who's had to be up for the aerial fight tonight. He's not a regular in the Derby team, more a deputy to Matt Clark and Sandra Langas. But to be fair, he's looked as competitive and robust as ever in the heart of defence tonight.
Yeah, he hasn't. I know he's not the first choice, but he's got plenty of experience. You mentioned 35 now, and you don't get to that age and play as many games as he has without knowing the dark arts of the game for sure.
Chavez for Derby carries the ball forward, tripped, and wins the free kick off Wallace. Wallace does look more comfortable in that right wing-back position for West Bromwich Albion, certainly more comfortable than Price has done for most of the game so far. Can't help but wonder whether Eric Ramsey will think about starting Jed Wallace against his old club Portsmouth next weekend.
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of fitness for him, as you mentioned. He's struggled this season with injuries, so I think if he was fully fit, there'd be no doubt he'd be starting game Jed Wallace, but just trying to get him to the metrics physically he needs to, I think.
Free kick for Derby, out on the far side there left, and Badger, again, not the full 10 yards. Now he's being called back by the referee. He's going to edge a couple of yards forward again, and the Derby fans continue to protest. Elders sends it over the top of him easily, into the area. Adjaman goes up, headed away. Comes out to Brenton Diaz, right corner of the area. Travis on the overlap, with time to chip in the cross to the back post. Brownlow heads it down, up with Langas, headed away again. Thompson on the edge of the area now for Derby. Thompson works it wide. Travis again in the crossing position. Square ball instead to Brenton Diaz. Malumbi gets a foot in, and it's cleared upfield by Inning Jr. for West Brom. Ward will go all the way back to Zetterstrom. Hammers it high upfield. That's an easy ball for Wallace to control at his chest, but his touch is heavy. Frollo nips in front of him to win it back for Derby. Now Corey Blackett-Taylor prods it forward towards Adjaman, who is clearly offside. The referee has not stopped the game yet, though, and the ball is delivered in towards Brenton Diaz, who heads it down, and then it hits Adjaman via the touch of the goalkeeper and spirals into the side netting. Well, Eric Ramsey is furious, and so too are the West Brom players. The assistant was flagging Adjaman, to me, looked clearly offside. Derby nearly scored though, Courtney.
Yeah, I don't understand how the referee is overruled from the position where he was. But the assistant can clearly see across the line. We can see from here. We're not far away from the assistant in the position that he was. That Adjaman is miles off. Just a strange sequence of events.
It ends with the score still 1-0 to Derby, who've been much better, as I say, since the triple substitution. But West Brom have still got a chance to get a crucial point in the relegation battle. While it's only 1-0, there's still plenty of hope for them. 12 minutes plus added time to go. Giving Junior, blocked off by Ward, who pokes it forward into the path of Fraulo. Fraulo carries the ball over the halfway line. Plenty of white shirts and support. Ward is to the right. Ward away down the right-hand side with an early cross to the back post over the head of Blackett-Taylor, who ran towards the near instead. Callum Elder looking to win it back for Derby on that far side, and he gets the throw after the tackle by Jed Wallace.
And Ward does ever so well there. What I'm really confused about is Ajiman. Because as Ward gets that ball, he just stops. And I think he's probably trying to go for the cutback. But there, if you keep continuing forward, make sure you keep yourself on side and you're occupying two of the three centre halves and find a gap in between them both. Ward can then just fizz it across, and it's a really odd decision for Ajiman just to stop his run and try and hang around that penalty spot for the cutback.
Well, Danny Bart's going to need a new shirt here, I think, because he got blood on the shirt. He has, bleeding from his nose at the moment, so a real warrior, Danny Bart, a player of great tenacity, comes over to the near side of the field, and they're going to need to get a new shirt for him, I'm sure. Derby will be down to 10 men momentarily. They do have a long throw on the far side. Elder, I think, will be told you've got to take it by the referee while Bart is being treated, or is he going to wait for the Derby defender? No. The right thing to do is to make Derby take the throw. That's the letter of the law. The referee has stopped the game again, and he's pointing towards Langas at the moment, calling him over. There's a quick word with the other Derby centre-half, who's in a tangle with his opposite number, Campbell. Really close fought and keenly contested as Bart gets ready to come back on without a shirt number. A man with no number for the final 10 minutes or so. Long throw into the penalty area for Derby. Only half-headed away. Dropped down towards Langas on the edge of the box. Fraulo went up, headed clear by DK for West Bromwich Albion. Now maybe they can break. Away on the left-hand side is Malumbi, but he loses out in midfield to Travis. Then Fraulo brings down Malumbi. That's a free kick to West Brom. Bart comes onto the field. Good pace and energy as we go into the last 10 minutes. And this is much more like the sort of game I think we were hoping for, Courtney.
Yeah, more of what we're expecting. And I'd say the home fans now, you can hear them. They're really getting behind the side and they're reacting to what they're seeing on the pitch. I just can't really believe it's taken this long for Derby to show this type of impetus.
Heading into the area for West Brom. Too long on Kamacha, gathered by Zetterstrom. Derby looking for the second goal that would really kill the game off and condemn West Brom to yet another away defeat. Big diagonal sweeping ball by Ward. Well controlled by Blackett-Taylor out on the left. He slides in to try and keep possession ahead of Wallace. Thompson then in a 50-50 with Wallace, which he loses out on. West Brom on the counter-attack now. On the right is Isaac Price for them, hugging the far side touchline. Early ball into the penalty area towards DK. Good work by Langas in the one-on-one. Just shrugged aside DK there like he wasn't there.
Brilliant defending. Doesn't get caught, doesn't get too excited. Just leans in, makes sure uses all his strength, Langas, without obviously giving away a penalty, making a foul in the penalty box, and just happily lets that run behind the goal. It's really experienced defending.
Well, this is just the start of a massive weekend of football across the talkSPORT network. As always, the best way to stay in touch with everything is to download the talkSPORT app. On the Monday Night Football, we'll have a choice of listening for you. Everton against Leeds in the Premier League on talkSPORT. Here on 2, the leaders' commentary goes to Norwich. Attiman, left wing position for Derby. Scamps away from Mepham. Low ball into the penalty area, cleared away by Campbell. Out of play for a Derby throw.
Bit fortunate there, Ajiman. It's cleared and it's still a Derby ball because he just puts it in without looking. There's only Brereton Diaz in there and he's nowhere near it. He's trying to keep up with play. That's where they've just got to be a little bit more astute, Derby. They're in the ascendancy, but there, Ajiman, you can just cut back, keep the ball, recycle it until more bodies get in the box.
Well, Derby maybe finishing the better side. Derby 1, West Brom 0. 8 minutes left, plus added time. There's going to be a yellow card here for Callum Elder for time wasting in front of the 3,000 West Brom fans who've made the trip from the West Midlands, and credit every single one of them given West Brom's away form this season. Long throw to the penalty area by Elder. Mark trying to get up. Good header away. Thumping header clear that by Mepham. But now they can clear it further forward, West Brom, with Wallace into the path of DK. Into the Derby half he goes. He's nudged it wide right to Price. Wallace is on the overlap. Price goes infield. Square ball now to Campbell. Campbell is midway inside the Derby half. He's worked it wide on the angle to Illy Jr. with a decent cross to the back post, and that's a really good header away by Elder at the expense of a corner to West Brom.
Yeah, it had to be done though, and Elder has got that awareness. He knows that he's got players behind him. Decent ball in by Illy Jr. And actually, when he's got on that left-hand side, he's done well. He's such a threat, but he's just a little bit off the mark.
And Illy Jr. is going to go across and take the corner here for West Bromwich Albion. Any point is a good point on the road at the moment for West Brom. Can they find a late equaliser at Pride Park here? Derby brought everybody back, delivered in by Illy Jr. up to the heads, and it's nodded behind again. It's another corner to West Brom. Ward got up for Derby. We're going to bring on Dion Sanderson, another centre-half in a few moments, and Lars Jørgen Salderson for a little bit of added aerial impetus in the forward line as well. Another West Brom corner. It'll be in swinging left-footed again by Illy Jr. Into the near post, only half away. Free kick given. Foul on Adjumang. Free kick to Derby County.
They get away with one there, Derby. Not the most convincing, but that's why, as you say, Sanderson and Salverson are coming on just to add that aerial threat and solidity.
Well, off goes Breton Diaz. Sanderson taking to the field. Some of the Derby fans in front of us heading for the exits now, certainly. And Salverson for Adjumang is a straight swap up front. The Norwegian onto the field in place of the American, who has scored just his second goal for Derby at Pride Park, his 8th of the season, as Courtney was saying earlier. And it looks like being the winner.
Yeah, it does right now. And sure, West Brom will still give it a good go, but Derby have looked a lot better in the second phase of this second half. More energy. That triple substitution, I think, really held their cause. So I think John Eustace won't be happy with the first period of what he's seen, but in terms of the substitutes coming on and making an impact, he should be very happy with that.
Watches on with his arms folded at the moment, the Derby County head coach, who is on the verge of guiding his team into the playoff positions at the moment, into 6th spot with 17 games to go for Derby. It would be West Brom will have 17 games to go, and they're only 3 points clear of the relegation zone. We've got less than 5 minutes left on talkSPORT 2. 5 minutes of normal time. Derby County 1, West Bromwich Albion 0. On the halfway line for West Brom is Price. Price with the angled ball to the right. Wallace back to Mepham. Mepham square to Phillips inside the centre circle. Now Campbell. Campbell out in front of the 2 head coaches, Ramsey and Eustace, watching on from the near side touchline. It could be 3 defeats and 3 for Eric Ramsey since taking charge. Not really looked like scoring in this second half, West Brom. Down the left goes Malumbi. There was a foul on DK anyway, and West Brom putting on the pressure here in terms of the set plays. They've got a free kick in a very dangerous position near the right corner, and the left corner rather, of the penalty area.
Just watching what Derby did as well from those substitutions, Salverson and Sanderson, and they matched West Brom up. Got a 5 at the back. Sanderson slotted in as the third centre half, and Elders now playing wing back along with Ward on the other side.
Well, Jed Wallace will take this free kick. Hands on hips, it certainly favours the in-swinging delivery of a right footer. Will he try and float it, or will he really fizz it in with some pace? Derby again at the north stand end of the ground have brought everyone back. In by Wallace, and it's a poor delivery. Headed away by the first man, Ward. Nodded back into the penalty area by Diakite. Price scoops it over the top. Clever ball. Matching it, he got in behind. Good covering by Ward again. The offside flag is up, but Joe Ward wasn't to know that. And not for the first time tonight, actually. A really important intervention from the right back.
Yeah, it was excellent from him. His anticipation of worst case scenario, what might happen, where the ball might drop, and being able to clear the danger was excellent from him in that moment.
Into the 88th minute now on talkSPORT 2 in the cold and at times windy conditions at Pride Park. Derby not far away from a very important victory on a night where the result certainly will beat the performance, it would seem. Derby trying to win it back deep inside the West Brom half. It's a shanked clearance, straight out of play by Meckham. Have West Brom done enough to earn a point, Courtney, or have they not quite shown enough in the final third?
I don't think they've shown enough, Joe. There's that big chance from Campbell in the first half, but aside from that, I thought you might see more of a reaction from them in the second half, but Derby have been the one that have turned it up. The substitutes haven't really made the impact. I thought Jed Wallace might do a little bit more, but it's also that, as I mentioned, coincides with the Derby substitutes really impacting the game. So I think they'll feel unfortunate to lose, but equally, I don't think they've done enough in the final third to win this game.
Well, the home sections, they're not emptying, but there are certainly a trickle of people leaving, confident that Derby have got the job done. 1-0 in front, 90 seconds of normal time to go. Derby heading for a 12th win of the league season so far. The ball is cleared upfield by Malumbi. A bit desperate now, this for West Brom. DK beaten in the air easily by Bath. DK jumped right underneath that high ball. Now Inning Jr. trying to roll it down the left, but it's straight into the path of Ward of Derby. Derby keep possession. Ward rolls it backwards to Langas, and Langas now square pass out to the centre half Sanderson. It's 5 at the back for Derby here in the remaining minutes, and they win a throw just shy of the halfway line. John Eustace turns away, takes a quick swig from a water bottle. He'll have seen much better performances from Derby this season. I've seen Derby probably play better and lose this season on a couple of occasions, but when you are in the playoff hunt, it really doesn't matter how you perform as long as you win.
Yeah, exactly, and he knows he won't get carried away. He'll know with this, and so will the players, that there's an element of fortune in this win, and on another day could well be a draw or a loss, but you take it, of course you do. You take the 3 points, you push yourself up the table. It's another win added to the tally at home as well, which that have been lacking in comparison to away. So they'll hope that that can really push them on, and this sort of mid to back stage of the season now, really important to get 3 points.
Cusps and stiffs the lead, as 6 is the number that goes up on the fourth official's electronic board. 6 added minutes at Pride Park. 1-0 to Derby on talkSPORT 2. West Brom have won the ball back inside their own half. It's with Malumbi. Square pass now to Inning Jr. on the halfway line. Inning Jr. no way through beyond Travis. Good work by Blackett-Taylor helping it out as well. Travis plays it back to Ward. Ward goes long up the near side right channel. Too much on that for Salverson. Out comes O'Leary, the goalkeeper, together. Adjumang's goal in the first half looks as though it's going to be enough for Derby County here. Nearly a minute through, the 6 added at the end of the game. And now for West Brom, what's the approach here, Courtney? It's just got to go long, hasn't it?
It's got to go long. It's got to be urgency. Flood bodies forward, and at this point, yeah, you might get caught on the counter, but it's worth taking the risk.
Delivery by Inning Jr. was a good one, headed away by Elder at the back post in the left back position for Derby. Tracking back is Blackett-Taylor, but he can't keep hold of it. It's a West Brom throw. Now, Mepham is going to leave it for Campbell, and it'll be a long throw into the penalty area here as West Brom try all they can to scramble home an equaliser in a bid to avoid that ignominious record of away defeats, heading for an 11th straight away loss. Long throw by Campbell in towards DK with a downward header, only half away by Derby. Price going away from goal, back out to the far side. It's dropped to Inning Jr. on the edge of the D. Deflection on the shot, well blocked by Bard. It's hit him square in the face. The referee is going to stop the game in the 2nd minute of the 6 added. Danny Bard taking another blow to the face.
Yeah, that won't help his bloody nose, will it?
Well, it's going to have to be helped up here, but Derby are nearly there. And they have shown some character tonight. Here come the 2 Derby physios. West Brom not happy about the stoppage to play. Well, they didn't really need the physios on at all, because Bart is already on his feet. And of course, as a result, Derby are going to be without him for the next passage of play.
What do you want when West Brom are going to be flooding bodies forward?
Nearly halfway through the added time. There'll be a little bit of added time on added time at the end of the game, I think, here. West Brom have got it with Wallace. Everybody back for Derby. Wallace from the centre circle. Clips the ball high and long. Header away by Langas, who has been lesson for Derby tonight. Blackett-Taylor keeps the ball in by the corner flag, but his clearance is out of play. Wallace is going to leave it for Campbell again in front of the East Stand. There's going to be another long throw into the penalty area here for West Brom as they seek what feels now like an unlikely draw. Long throw into the penalty area by Campbell. DK going up for it again. Only half away by Travis. Nodded towards goal. And it's turned just wide by Matcher. Well, the goalkeeper must have got something on that. Matcher denied at point blank range by Zetterstrom. It's a corner.
Yeah, well, the keeper does ever so well that Derby players aren't happy because they feel it's a foul, but vital for Zetterstrom. Comes out quickly. Probably knows he's going to get hurt in the process. He's still down in a heat. The referee's just turned around to the fourth official, hands up as if to say, no, it's fine, don't bring the physio, as long as he's getting himself back up. But what a big save that could be.
In the 4th minute of added time at the end of the game, Derby 1, West Brom 0, but it's not over yet. Can West Brom fashion an equaliser here, right at the very end? Wallace will take the corner, right-footed and in-swinging. Again, Derby have brought everybody in black and white back to defend it. West Brom have sent almost everybody, bar goalkeeper O'Leary forward. In comes the delivery of Wallace into the near post, flipped on by Price, and it's going to go and is it? No! Clean off the line! Although the referee says the goal is given. West Bromwich Albion have got an equaliser in the 5th minute of added time. Derby couldn't keep the ball out at the far post, and West Brom somehow here, to the delight of 3,000 travelling fans, have played what looks like an unlikely point, and finally their run of losses away from home looks like it's coming to an end. Phillips was there at the back post. I'm not quite sure who exactly got the final touch. Zetterstrom thought he made a brilliant save, but West Bromwich Albion were not to be denied, and somehow, right at the end, it's Derby 1, West Brom 1.
First and foremost, it's a brilliant ball in from Jed Wallace, and they work it well. I'm not sure who it was in the melee, but there's a front post runner that flicks it onto the back post, and by that point, from our vantage, we're struggling. As you say, I think it's Phillips that gets the initial. Seems to be whether it be a block or a save from Zetterstrom, the goalkeeper, but I think it'd already gone across the line. But the weirdest thing for me was the celebration from West Brom. So Jack Wallace goes and celebrates on his own, sort of in the left-hand corner. 3 players go on the opposite side, and then every other West Brom player just sort of trundles back to their own half. It was ever so strange.
It might have been Mepham who got the equaliser for West Brom. We'll get confirmation, and it is Mepham who's been credited with it, and it is 1-1 right at the very end of the game, and surely no time now for an equaliser for Derby County. Mepham has been credited with it in the 95th minute, would you believe it? Well, we're in added time now, and Pride Park is certainly emptying at this point. Here is Ward on the near side to right, chipping the ball into the area. Salverson going up, can't meet it. Elder on the volley over the top. Well, that was a chance for Derby right at the very end.
Normally as well, so good on the ball, Elder, such a good technician. Completely gets underneath it as it's dropping down. It's in the wrong angle because it's sort of straight on in front of him. Probably needs a bit of side angle with it so he can get his hip and knee over it and strike through the ball, but gets underneath it and just completely loops it over the bar. He was so disappointed with that.
Well, surely no time left for a winner for either team. Referee has put his whistle to his lips. O'Leary will take the goal kick here, and that will probably be that. O'Leary thumps it high and long, and still we play on at the end of the game. Header away by Elder into touch. It's a West Brom throw just over the halfway line. But they are jubilant, the West Bromwich Albion supporters, having waited so long for some sort of positive result on the road. And they are going to get it tonight, finally. Long throw for West Brom towards DK. Headed away. Drops down to Malumbi, who skips it forward. Madger is onto it. Plucks it out of the air close to the corner flag. West Brom maybe are not finished just yet. It's cleared away by Derby. And that is the final whistle. And a very late goal by Chris Mepham has salvaged a point for West Brom. and their losing run away from home comes to an end. It's a first point in the job for the new manager, Eric Ramsey. After 3 games, he is off the mark, and Derby missed the chance to move into the championship playoff places. The Rams do go up a couple of spots into 8th, but in fairness, it was probably a game that neither team deserved to win. Adjuman with a goal in the first half for Derby. Mepham is credited with the late equaliser amid a scramble at the back post for West Bromwich Albion. Derby 1, West Brom 1.
John Eustace will be devastated to concede that goal so late. Derby, as you mentioned, go up to 8. At 1 point outside the playoff places, West Brom 19, they're 4 points clear of the relegation zone. Up next, Derby go to Bristol City. That's live on talkSPORT 2 next Friday night. West Brom head to Portsmouth in a massive clash next Saturday. Eric Ramsey with his first point as West Brom boss. Courtney Sweetman-Kirk, how will he be feeling about his side's performance and the way they rescued that point right at the death?
Yeah, I think obviously when you stop that sort of run in terms of the away losses and get your first point as manager into a new club, then you're happy. It was the last gasp, that's for sure, but I think on the balance they probably deserved it. I don't think they necessarily did enough in the final third to win the game, but the fact that when they won 1-0 down, and especially at the back end of the second half when Derby were really putting on the pressure, this team showed character to not concede again, to want to go forward, to keep the belief that they could go and get the goal. I think that's really important. And look, it wasn't a vintage game by any stretch of the imagination. On the 89th minute, I was looking at the stats, and there was an XG combined for both sides of 0.5. So that tells you that the lack of opportunities in the final third. But for West Brom to get that point, to stop the rot, it's really important. But there needs to be more to build on in the final third. Yes, today they look more stable at the back. That's also, in my opinion, a little bit to do with the lack of quality from Derby as well. So let's not get too carried away with that. But they look more stable. They've just got to then continue that work and look better going forward. But that's been obviously a recurring theme, not just under Eric Ramsey, but for his predecessor as well. So that's where they're struggling. That's where we know that goals win games, and that needs to improve for West Brom.
It's certainly the kind of point that will change the mood. By the way, I thought it was a very memorable game. What about John Eustace? What do you think he's feeling about his side? Because they had 2 wins on the spin coming into this. It was a chance to make it 3 in a row, a chance to jump into the top 6. Did we probably get an indication tonight as to why this Derby County side probably isn't going to be a top 6 side come the end of the season?
Yeah, I think so. Too inconsistent, and we almost saw 2 sides of it in moments for the majority of the first half, and quite a large period of the second half actually. They were slow, they were languid, they were poor in possession at times, and there was a good period, probably 20 minutes then in the second half, Derby, where they looked good and they could see West Brom creeping forward. The triple substitutes helped as well. But when then West Brom thought, right, we need to have a go here, we've got nothing to lose. Actually, Derby played quite well, and they were quite clever at trying to exploit them on the counter-attack and had their moments as well. But it just wasn't good enough. It really surprised me how slowly they started and continued to start, because I mentioned it at the time, sometimes when a team's fatigued you can see it and your legs are heavy in the first 10 minutes, but as play continues, as the blood starts to get into your legs and the game goes on, you then start to see an increase of energy and tempo, and it just didn't come. We just didn't see it until the substitutes entered the pitch. So you'll be disappointed at a missed opportunity because they didn't play well, Derby. If you play well and you lose or you draw, don't get me wrong, it's not helpful either way, but you can sort of believe in that process and maybe think, oh, on another day we might have won. But they'll be disappointed at a missed opportunity against a struggling West Brom side.
Absolutely, they will. Courtney Sweetman-Kirk, Joey Shannon, thank you very much indeed for your live commentary tonight. Big point for West Bromwich Albion and their new boss, Eric Ramsey, his first in the job. We brought it to you live and exclusive here on talkSPORT 2, your home of the EFL. We got more coming for you this weekend. Sunday midday, huge game between Portsmouth and Southampton. South Coast derby. Scott Minto, the former Chelsea FA Cup winner, alongside Jim Proudfoot for that one. And Monday night, I'll be back with you. EFL All Access from 6 p.m, followed by live commentary of Norwich City against Coventry City. Mike Sewell and the former England striker Dean Ashton are your commentary team for that one. Sports Bar Weekender is getting underway over on talkSPORT with Adam Catchell and the former West Ham striker Carlton Cole, so you can get your calls in to reflect tonight's action at Pride Park. What did you make of it, Baggies fans and Rams fans as well? Are you leaving the ground disappointed this evening? 03717 223344 is the number to dial. Coming up next here on talkSPORT 2, it's live PGA Tour golf with action from the American Express. But Chris Method has rescued a point for the Baggies away at Pride Park. They finished Derby County 1, West Brom 1.
talkSPORT 2 is your dynamic destination for all the latest sporting action, featuring live commentary of all the biggest events, including football, PGA golf, horse racing, Premiership rugby, cricket, boxing, and all the big hitting drama of the NFL. Plus, talkSPORT 2's official betting partner, William Hill, is always on hand with the insight and in-depth analysis you need. talkSPORT 2, official betting partner, William Hill. 18 plus, gambleware.org.
The all-electric Ford E-Transit Custom, loaded with doing power. And now, you could win one. Take a test drive in any Transit Custom to enter, and be in with a chance of winning a Ford E-Transit Custom. Search Win a Ford E-Transit Custom and book online. To enter, take a test drive between the 1st of January and the 28th of February. Ready, set, Ford. T's and C's apply. 25 plus only. For details, see Ford.co.uk.
Hello, most mechanics, how can we help?
Can you tell me what's wrong with my car? It's making a grrr noise.
Right, that's it, we brake or accelerate?
So when I brake, it's more of a... and when I accelerate, it's more of a... If you get me?
Good. Customers can be hard work. Switching your bank account won't be. We'll automatically move your regular payments over when you switch with the current account switch service.
Prostate cancer is the most common cancer in men. It's about time we stood together against it. Prostate Cancer UK.
At Lidl, get great deals on award-winning fruit and veg with Pick of the Week. Save up to 35% with cauliflower now just 99p each. And with Lidl Plus, get red grapefruit for only 29p. In store now. Lidl, more to value. Limited offer subject to availability. Selected stores TV only. Prices correct on 20th of the 1st. 18 plus terms apply. See lidl.co.uk/LPTV.
Oxley and Jacobs on your side every weekday afternoon from 1 on talkSPORT with Toolstation, delivering cutting-edge comments, a catalogue of riveting guests, and drilled-down dialogue to power up your lunchtime. Plus, breaking news, views, and loads of laughs. Don't miss the nation's favourite sporting lunch with the legendary Oxley and Jacobs every weekday afternoon from 1 on talkSPORT with Toolstation. Next stop, Toolstation.
Your live sports station.
Team desperately needs points. We had a great victory over Spurs last weekend. Loads more to get involved in as well. 03717 223344. It is the Sports Bar Weekender here on talkSPORT. There we go, we're in. Apologies to everyone. Everybody likes to destroy the studios before we come on and unplug everything, so I have no headphones. So I'm back, Coley. Coley, it's good to be with you, mate. How are you, mate? You good? I'll tell you what, I was more angst there than Brooklyn Beckham watching his mum do the dirty wine at his own wedding. Is that true? Apparently it is true, isn't it? Apparently it is true, because at the end of the day, I've said my words on it, but I don't think we need to be talking about that no more, give it any airtime. I think it's a family feud and we just need to crack on. Well, one thing I would say, it does feel like we're in the early 2000s. We've got Victoria, aka Posh Spice, at the top of the charts. Yeah. Arsenal taking on Manchester United in a fierce derby. Yeah. It does feel like we're in the early 2000s, Colin. Yeah, it's, I don't know what... Throwback. Look, do you know what it is? That's I was watching a clip the other day about the rivalry between Patrick Vieira and Roy Keane. Great rivalry. Are we going to get that back again? Because everyone's too nice to each other. Everyone's going to get each other before the game. Yeah, no, high five and probably swapping shirts before the game. You know what I mean? Like, what's going on? Like, where's that rivalry? Where's that little fight that everyone loved back in the day, and that's what brought the fans to the Premier League. You know, you think of iconic moments of Arsenal and Manchester United, that tunnel incident with the airing. Oh, brilliant. I was pretending to be the nice guy. I was pretending to be the nice guy. I know about you. Right? Yeah. Then you had, obviously, Keown and Van Nistelrooy. Yeah. What I love about Mike Keown is, on this station, he's so like, he's got his... Oh, no. He was a jumper on. The glasses on. Looks very intellectual. He was very intellectual. Like I do tonight. I might be like an absolute chap. Right, it's like... And you look at him, he's like, you know, he's so together. That day he was a hooligan. Yeah. And listen, that little arm that smashed to the head with his arm, head gone moment. This is what we're talking about, the fierce rivalry between teams.
Do you know what I used to enjoy, like back in the day, yeah, like when we was on the pitch and you see a little bust up happen on the pitch, and I'll be on the pitch and I was thinking, oh, he's a bit feisty, that one. Yeah. I wonder what he's gonna say to him. So the amount of times I heard players get offered out in the tunnel. Meet you in the tunnel. Meet you in the tunnel. yeah, you think a bit? Meet you in the tunnel, mate. Meet you in the tunnel. Then afterwards, they're having a beer together. I'm like, hold on a minute. You said, I thought you lot was going to fight. You know what I mean?
Everyone has a head. Have you had any heads gone on the field? Did you have any particular rivalries when you were playing before? We've got them this weekend. Come on, let's go.
Not yet. Well, yeah, like every team. I've got them this weekend. Listen, we have to have a go at every game, like every match, because we're fighting for survival most times. Like, you can't put any. But what you did get was that obviously Spurs was a little bit bitey. I got sent off a few times, but it wasn't nothing bad. It was just like high feet and that. Arsenal games, that was I got a little bit tasty sometimes, depending on who was on the field for us. And any team that we played with, and then we had Craig Bellamy on our side, always got antsy. Always, because you know Craig always used to press the buttons of the other team and just give them some jip. So did Mark Noble as well. So it was always we had some mouthy players on our team, mouthy, and we always used to give the other team. So everyone gets a bit antsy, and then we just laugh at them.
Well, you know, Manchester United going to this game at the weekend feeling a lot more confident after that wonderful display against Manchester City, must be said. You know, Michael Carrick, who is somebody who's going to be telling those boys what this game means. Yeah. You know, what, you know, historically, the clash, what it means to Manchester United and Arsenal. They can go to the Emirates with a little bit of confidence, can't they?
Yeah, of course. Look, Manchester United, it's like, when I watched that game against Man City, I looked at them and I thought, cool, blimey. Where's this performance been all season? Like, they've had spurts, don't get me wrong, they've had a few results here and there, good performances. This performance, I was playing triangles. Like, I've not seen them do this before under Amarim. I've not seen them. No. They were doing triangles around Man City players.
There was Olays going.
Olays. I was thinking, where's this performance been? You know, and like, so they obviously got it in them, and they was enjoying themselves whilst doing it. Like, so I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, come on, you can't just leave it for these type of games. You've got to do this against Bournemouth. You've got to do this against the lower level teams, and you don't. So, yeah, all well and dandy enjoying it now, but can you continue this? And this is where I have questions for Manchester United.
Well, it's the biggest ask, because you go to the best team in the country right now, arguably the best team in Europe.
Well, the way they played against Man City, yeah, I think they do it. I think they do it. But if they don't do what I saw against Man City, then it's going to be a long day. Because Arsenal, when I'm saying Arsenal are at it, they're not even. I don't think they're even out of second gear yet.
You know what?
I think they've got gears to go into, but they've just not been challenged yet. And maybe Man United can coax it out of them.
I just think Arsenal have become such a well-oiled machine. Arsenal are a machine right now, and
strength in depth as well.
Absolutely, you know, you wouldn't necessarily say some of the football of late's been fantastic, but football in general has not been fantastic.
Well, that's like Liverpool last season. Like, they just had to do enough.
Yeah.
And that's what Arsenal are doing now, just doing enough. But you know they can play much better.
And they've got the players to do. The fact that Eze's hardly played any minutes since that, amazing hat-trick, etc.
Unbelievable. Like, I don't even understand that, because I saw that hat-trick, I was like, oh, he's staked his claim, he's going to be a starter now.
So he was really up to it.
He played for 5 games.
Madueke's doing really well, wasn't he?
Yeah, he did. I watched him the other night.
So direct.
Yeah, I watched him the the other night, but at the same time, they've got Saka as well, so those two will just keep on sharpening each other's tools.
Do you know what?
They're just going to be going up against each other.
Yeah. Now, do you know what I want to ask you? Because obviously you've been in that situation as a striker, and you know, especially when you at Chelsea, the strikers that were around you in the competition for places. I wanted to say about this. You know, Martinelli's game he's up to his game, right? Trossard's been tremendous this year. A lot of Arsenal fans are ready to say
they're sharpening each other.
Yeah, I was going to say, is that competition for places making everybody ready?
Training must be unbelievable over there, I'll tell you that, because, like...
But we're talking too much about Arsenal.
No, but because they've got strength in depth.
They really have.
Like, this time around, like, there's no excuses. Like, they've gone out and addressed certain positions. Now, if you look at the striker position now, that's probably where... So Havertz comes in, but I don't even rate Havertz as a number 9 like that. So maybe they can still go out and go and buy one more.
Well, the fact of the matter is
they might be linked to somebody.
The fact they're loaning Ethan Nantwari out.
Oh man, it just shows you the strength they've got.
I think they're wearing.
And then they've got young players like Max Downham coming through. Listen, mate, Arsenal are a formidable force at the moment, and anybody that says they're not, they're liars.
I know a good friend, I think he's seen you a couple of times outside, Mark, the cab driver, the Arsenal fan.
Oh, yeah, is he an Arsenal fan?
Yeah, he's an Arsenal.
Oh, is he, yeah? I see him when I was walking out the last time. I was Carlton. I was like, I was half on my toes to run. I was like, oh, Carlton, he said aggressively as well. I was like, no, I had to get out of it.
Big Arsenal, and you know, the Arsenal fans, if they are treated to some trophies this year, I genuinely fear for their dominance over the next couple of years, because you see a City team that are in disarray, almost, even though they're some great players. Who knows what's going on with Pep? You know,
I don't think they're in disarray. I think they've just bought Mark Gay.
Yeah, and
that's going to be a massive thing for them. But massive. And then they've just got the other boy, Semenyo. He's had 2 games now, I think. So he's going to start purring soon. So they're going to take a claim.
For Manchester City standards, right? You know, the amount of draws that they had, and you know, even losing in the Champions League to Bodo Glimt.
Yeah,
that's not Manchester City. So that to me screams problems.
But do you know what? When you think about it, Bodo Glimt, have you gone away to Bodo Glimt? Go away to Bodo Glimt. Go look at their record on how many people they brought over or gone and played at Bodo Glimt and lost. And they've got a brilliant record.
And who won on the way to?
Oh yeah.
And that game was always, oh, you played Bodo Glimt. Yeah. Now go play Bodo Glimt. See, Carlton, I love it. Thank you very much. Set me up nicely. Good team. Good team.
Good team.
You know when you enter the barber and you need a haircut. It's like my hair's terrible. I had to rip the top now.
I don't know why you're wearing that one up in the studio. You lot got pumped the other day.
It wasn't whooping.
I can't believe you're wearing that whilst I'm in this room.
I was going to give you that. Yeah, the gentlemanly round of applause.
Cool, I'll take that.
You know,
it was. But to be honest,
just to throw back to that quickly, we spoke about him on this show. Vicario, what was he doing? And you lot must have laughed. You must have, we need a goal. Helen, get on. Just stand on him. You get a goal.
Mate, I didn't know what was going on with him. What was he doing? He's made so many mistakes this season, right? It's killing you, mate. But we're all right. We're not yet, but we will be.
Right.
But I'm saying, you guys, mate, what? He's made so much mistakes, but yet he still plays.
That's
who's next in line?
Insky, who's apparently might go on loan to you lot.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Not heard that.
Yeah, well, that's one of the transfer rumours. Right, there's so many talking points, and the phone lines are now officially open on the Sports Bar Weekender. With me, Majestic, in for the Catman, and the capture who we'll be speaking to live from Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Later on tonight, alongside former West Ham striker Carlton Cole. Arsenal fans, how big is this game this weekend against Manchester United, an old foe? But, you know, are you worried about the fact they've got the new manager, bounce, etc., Michael Carrick, club legend in there? 03717 223344. And Manchester United fans, how pleasing would it be for you, off the back of that City win, the way you want it, to go against one of the old enemies in Arsenal and beat them and reduce that gap at the top if the other results go the other way? Could you be the team that put a little, you know, glitch in the road for the juggernaut that is Arsenal at the moment?
Maybe.
And Arsenal fans, you just want to come wax lyrical about your team, because You got me and Carlton Cole just saying, I don't see who's stopping Arsenal. And we'll be speaking to your former midfielder, Adrian Clark, later on in the show, and asking him, can Arsenal win it all? Can Arsenal win it all?
Guess what he might say?
You're listening to the Sports Bar Weekend with talkSPORT Bet. Download the app today for all the latest odds and offers. 18 plus, gamblerway.org.
The Sports Bar with talkSPORT Bet. Download the app or visit talksportbet.com for all the latest odds and offers. 18 plus, gamblerway.org.
Right now, you can get hearing devices for only £495 at Specsavers. Now, we know what you're thinking. Oh, if they're that cheap, they're bound to be those big old-fashioned ones that do this kind of thing. What's wrong with this kind of thing? But actually, they just do this kind of thing. Clear sound from a piece of text so small you can barely see it. All for only £495. So book a free hearing check at Specsavers now. Terms and conditions apply. See our website for details.
At Kia, we have an award-winning range of electric cars for you to discover. From the compact SUV, the Kia EV3, and our latest hatchback, the Kia EV4, to our stylish new Kia EV5, the all-electric family SUV. Discover what driving electric really means. And if you order any Kia electric car by March 31st, you'll enjoy your first 2 services free. Search Discover Your Kia EV to book your test drive today. Kia. Movement that inspires. T's and C's apply.
Hello, most mechanics, how can we help?
Can you tell me what's wrong with my car? It's making a grrr noise.
Right, and is that when you brake or accelerate?
So when I brake, it's more of a... and when I accelerate, it's more of a... If you get me?
Right.
Customers can be hard work. Switching your bank account won't be. We'll automatically move your regular payments over when you switch with the current account switch service.
At Lidl, get great deals on award-winning fruit and veg with Pick of the Week. Save up to 35% with cauliflower now just 99p each. And with Lidl Plus, get red grapefruit for only 29p. In store now. Lidl, more to value. Limited offer subject to availability. Selected stores, TV only. Prices correct on 20th of the 1st. 18 plus terms apply. See lidl.co.uk/LPTV.
It might be cold outside, but things are really warming up at the Wren Winter Sale, with red-hot prices on our high-quality, fully built kitchens and fitted bedrooms. Right now, there's up to 60% off fully built kitchens and all bedroom units, plus up to 7 years interest-free credit. Made for making you feel warm inside, whatever the weather. Wren, made for living. Visit your nearest Wren showroom. Offers apply when you buy 5 or more kitchen units or 3 or more bedroom units. Finance subject to status and minimum spend.
It's a new season. The fans are back, and so is Coral's free reward shaker with bigger football rewards. The half-and-half scarfers shaking decisively for once. They backed a super boost. Next to that, the pork sandwich brigade. Oh, they've shaken up a free bet after that free lunch. Play Coral's free reward shaker to win bigger guaranteed daily rewards and offers this season. Coral, we're here for it.
18 plus, UK max one reward offer per player per day. 8 AM to 8 PM. Reward restrictions and T's and C's apply. Gamblerway.org.
Sanctify your Sunday with a South Coast sermon of live football on talkSPORT 2. Portsmouth meets Southampton in the Championship. Parish doors open at 11:45, with the full football service commencing at 12 PM sharp. Come together for a Super Sunday sermon of live Championship football on talkSPORT 2.
Oh, that's better. It's Madge and Coley. Carl and Kenny. Hey, you are cool. We're here in the studio on a Friday evening. It is the Sports Bar Weekend, and I'm here with the one and only Captain Adam Capture, who we'll be speaking to later on in Las Vegas. Still to come on the show as well, we're going to be speaking ahead of the West Ham Sunderland game. We're going to be speaking to Paddy Hollis about Sunderland, and loads more. We've got quiz as well.
Yeah, can't wait for the quiz. I'm always on the quiz.
Yeah, the quiz has been good.
Yeah, it's been
The new quiz master, mate.
Well, listen, you're under pressure tonight.
I am, and
Yeah?
big pressure.
You're under
Did
big...
you get a win last week? Did the W?
We've got 2 wins in a row.
Two in a row.
Since Adam's back, we've had 2 wins. So, I'm not saying that Adam's doing the heavy lifting, yeah? But he's doing the heavy lifting.
I'd like to check Adam's computer after the show to see if he...
And we've got Marco back in the studio as well.
Yeah.
Marco,
I've heard him things that's sounding good. Right, let's go to the phone lines because I mentioned our cabbie, Mark, and he's got Arsenal loving. Oi, oi.
We've got to just bring up, listen, we're football fans. I'm not a hater.
No.
I'll give a bit of banter off. or I say my opinions, but I'm not a hater. So whether you think I'm a hater or not, it's up to you. But I just give an opinion, and if that's my view on it, that's my view. Everyone's I don't hate on Arsenal.
You can't deny what's in front of your eyes, and Arsenal.
Yeah, it is what it is, and it's brilliant.
It's not brilliant, but it's...
All right, Spurs. All right, mate.
Let's get the Carl with an Arsenal fan. Good evening, Carl.
Hello, James. How you doing?
How are you, Jim?
It's the weekend, mate. We're excited, and football's back, so yay!
Good stuff. No, I just wanted to speak about Sunday, really. I think with the game that United have just played against City, with Carrick coming in, you get that new manager bounce a little bit. But Colton, you said something a couple of minutes ago regarding if they play the same against City, they'll do all right against us. I just don't think Arsenal play the same way as how bad City could be. I think Arsenal defend so much better. And defensively, I think we can just deal with what United's counter-attack will be coming up on Sunday. I just think we're so strong defensively. Zubimendi's been amazing this year. Declan Rice, for all his flaws, has been great. I just wanted to sort of get your thoughts on Gyökeres, because I wanted to speak to Rory earlier. And he made a comparison that Gyökeres and our front line's not doing that great. But Drogba, when he comes to the Premier League, only got 10 goals in his first season, if I'm not mistaken, with London.
All right, so I want to just debunk this Drogba comparison. Let's not do that, right? The thing with Drogba, he was more than just a goal scorer. Yeah. So I think Drogba that season got about 10 to 15 assists, just him being on the pitch. So he got whatever goals, he got 14 goals, and then he got like 10 to 15 assists. Gyökeres ain't doing that. Do you know what I mean? Because Drogba, the way he brings others into play was unbelievable. He just made the system work. With Gyökeres at Arsenal, I'm not saying that he's doing bad but you can't compare the two because Drogba is a totally different player.
Yeah, producer Jack is a Chelsea fan, and is this comparison a legit thing?
No, because I've done this comparison before, so I just wanted to address it.
If you look at how Gyökeres has done and Drogba, they're chalk and cheese in terms of the impact that I reckon Gyökeres will have on Arsenal, the impact that Drogba had on Chelsea. But
Carl, I think what you're saying is his first season, he's adjusting to the Premier League.
Oh, yeah.
And if you look back at other strikers who went on to do amazing things in the Premier League, their first season wasn't necessarily lit up with goals, right?
yeah, 100%. Gyökeres just seems to occupy space against sort of low blocks and take people out of the equation for other players. Like, I know Saka's not chipping in with loads of goals this year, but we've got goals all around our team this year. Correct. And that, I think that's changed from having Gyökeres up front as opposed to maybe Havertz or Jesus.
No, I get exactly what you're saying there. So Gyökeres definitely is a player that works hard. He's not the typical Arsenal player that I would say is easy on the eye and fits into that system, but he's definitely effective. He's definitely effective, and it's just how you deploy him. You know, like when I look at Drogba when his first season, I don't know what the conversation between him and Mourinho was, but I think it was just to disrupt the defence he's playing against, and maybe that's the same thing that Arteta said to Gyökeres, and then. It's not, I mean, the thing about strikers, they're always going to, especially in this day and age, they're going to get judged by their output and their goals, yeah? But I've seen certain, like, there's certain things that he can do that no other player on that pitch can do. The way he can hold the ball up a little bit, he can run in behind, he's always on that move. But one thing I have to say is that some of the players that he's playing with can help him out a little bit more and put him in. Because there's been times when I've seen they've hugged the ball away from him. And I'm thinking, mate, he just made that run, he needs the ball.
That's modern day football where the holding on to the ball and the possession stats are more
important. But there's been blatant. Some of it's been blatant, and I'm thinking...
He's made the runs.
He's made the runs. And he's... One thing about Gyökeres, I think, he needs to be fed in that capacity. Like Haaland, if he made that run, he's getting the ball.
Well, that's because their style of play is designed for him to be the...
But it's up to the players that have the ball to notice, we've got a new option now, put him in, not go side to side.
Great call, thank you very much, Carl. Let's go to another Arsenal fan. Paul joins us on the Sports Bar Weekend. Good evening, Paul.
Hello, mate. Good night. Good evening, Jess. Carl, I think you're a really sort of, you've got a really non-biased opinion on Arsenal. I think you're a great Coley, mate, yeah?
Thank you, mate.
Do you know what, listen, Paul, when you see something, and look, we're all football fans at the end of the day, and I always say this, look, I'm, 39 now, yeah? I grew up in the era of Dennis Bergkamp and Henri, etc., and watching Arsenal. And
spinning Newcastle, spinning the...
Yeah, exactly. So I just had to watch that as a Spurs fan growing up, being like in awe of it, because it was so good. And it's just good football. And Arsenal, and what they've done, and I think, especially with Arteta and this whole trust the process thing, and people mocked it at the start, and even Arsenal fans wanted him out. It proves.
I think we're sort of more machines now, and I think then we're more flamboyancy, and we was an absolutely fantastic team, and I think you're right, going through the middle, he's running through the middle, he's getting no support, he's getting no balls in, as you said, if it was Ireland and that, and he's getting balls in, he'd get on the end of them, and I think he will score more goals, and I personally think we will win the league. I don't think we'll win the Champions League, and I think we might nick a cup out of it, Man United, Man City,
And that'd be well deserved, because you've been for most of the season, well, all of the season, at the forefront of it all. So
what would you prefer?
I'd be disappointed if you didn't.
So what would you prefer to win, the Champions League or the Premier League?
Yeah, Premier League.
Really, even though you've not won a Champions League?
No, there's time for that, but come on, it's been a 20.
Do you know what? I think that might be. Do you know what? I think there might be fans out there that will say Champions League.
It's not.
I'll tell you why. Because they've never done it. They've never done a Champions League. And then all of that talk about, well, you can't say you're the best team in the world.
I just think that it's just the being obviously being for I just think the Premier's got to be the Premier League for me, And I think we've had far in the Champions League, but I think all that 7-2 favourites, we've never won it. We can't be 7-2 favourites. It's ridiculous, you know what I mean? And I think we get too excited about, we've got two teams really that go out on pitch,
But this is the thing, and I think, well, you're right.
There is 20 other teams, mate.
You're right in saying about the Champions League thing.
The FA Cup last year,
Because of the knockout situation, right, and this is where
That's the main part,
we're going to really see Arteta. When Arteta is under pressure at previous attempts, he's crumbled, right? Okay, so if this is the year that's going to be Arsenal's year, then we're going to see a different approach from Arteta in those moments.
But we have done that, because last year and that he lose over Christmas to the Fulhams, the West Hams and all that, and now he's put that to bed. And maybe I'm being a little bit sort of half-empty when we come and saying we're not going to win it open, we are going to win it, But I just, we've got to be happy with the title and make it.
No, you guys are in a really good place.
That's cool, Paul. Thank you very much. It's a good question. Arsenal fans, would you prefer to win the Champions League or the Premier League this year? For me, you're looking for the outside in. For them to win the Champions League, all of a sudden, all the Chelsea talk of we're the real kings of London. We've won 2 Champions Leagues. You've not even won one. I think that being added to their trophy cabinet, because I still think Arsenal over the next.
Well, you've got a trophy, haven't you? You've got your European Cup.
Europe, when it comes to Europe, Spurs, it's all right.
West Ham's got a European trophy as well.
We'll just put our hands up. Look, there's a big gap. We'll get hands up for European trophies. Jackson, 2 hands up there for the 2 Champions League. We're throwing it back to Cup Winners' Cup now, the Arsenal. 94, Alan Smith. Against Palmer.
No, we're not doing that, are we?
What about the year after 90? For the after 90?
You don't work with what you got, is it? Is that what we're saying there? Yeah?
Now listen, Arsenal fans, I'd love to hear from you, because, Paul there, he'd rather win the Premier League. It's been 20 years since they were league champions. And I do think, when you win the Premier League, which is considered the best league in Europe for sure, and possibly the world, it is a massive statement.
It's got the most money.
It's definitely got the most money. Give us a call, 03717 223 344. The phone lines are now open. We're going to be speaking ahead of Spurs and Burnley's game this weekend as well. Loads want to get through it. It was Friday night. It's the Sports Bar Weekender on talkSPORT.
The Sports Bar with talkSPORT Bet. Download the app or visit talksportbet.com to see all our latest sign-up offers. 18 plus, gambleaware.org.
3, 2, 1, it's on.
We're bursting to tell you something big. Your entertainment destination has landed, and it's bursting before your favourites. Say hello to TLC, full to the brim with The Big Bang Theory, Young Sheldon, and brand new Georgie and Mandy's
completely free.
Bazinga.
TLC, bursting with great telly. Wherever you watch free TV.
And now, for your listening pleasure, something unexpected from Currys.
Alright, who's put thousands of white doves in my curry store?
Migos, to promote our care and repair service. Good, and that was, well, you said care and repair was magic, so doves.
I said, if you take out a care and repair plan when you buy tech from Currys, we'll fix it fast if it breaks down like magic. Are those rabbits?
Okay, but I will take care of that.
Care and repair at Currys. Is it really magic or just beyond expectations?
Excludes accidental and cosmetic damage. T's and C's apply.
Jack is in construction, totally unaware.
Unaware of what?
He could be paying too much tax. Jack's forever shelling out his own cash to travel between sites or buying tools.
Yeah.
So he may be owed money by HMRC. Rift tax refunds helps people get the money back. On average, over £3,000 back. Get the ball rolling. Search Rift tax refunds. Search Rift tax refunds today.
Hear that? It's your Big McDonald's hunger calling, because the Big Arch is back, and this time it's here to stay. With juicy beef, cheddar cheese, and that Big Arch sauce. Hungry? You are now. Order delivery on the McDonald's app. Served from 11 a.m. Upcharges and fees apply to delivery orders. Subject to availability, price and participation may vary.
Next winter, the England cricket team are set to tour South Africa, and as always, the Barmy Army will be there. And thanks to talkSPORT and the Barmy Army, you could be too. Enter now at talksport.com/win for the chance to score a fantastic week-long trip for two to sunny South Africa to watch every day of the New Year Test match in Cape Town in 2027. Enter now at talksport.com/win and get ready to experience the electric atmosphere that only a Barmy Army tour delivers. talksport.com/win.
They say life's about the little ones. Now, at 32 Red, we say you deserve big ones. So we give you incredible jackpot slots like Poseidon Ancient Fortunes, Cash and Riches Wild Pot, and Mega Moon and Megaways with huge cash prizes. Join and get 100 free spins on Sweet Bonanza. Play incredible at 32 Red. 18 plus gambler.org. New accounts only. Minimum £10 deposit. 10 times wagering. Max days apply. Visit 32red.com for full terms.
I'm Jeff Stelling. It's another supersonic weekend of live and exclusive football action on talkSPORT and talkSPORT 2. Tomorrow afternoon, it all kicks off at 12:30 as West Ham and Sunderland are live in the Premier League, live on talkSPORT. With a spirited Sunday South Coast derby from 12 noon as Portsmouth go head-to-head with Southampton in the Championship, live on talkSPORT 2. Sometimes you just gotta get the job done. It's a massive weekend of fast-flowing, full-on, live and exclusive football on talkSPORT and talkSPORT 2.
The late Friday Night Members Club, the Sports Bar Weekender.
That's right, it's the Sports Bar Weekender, where all of our members are very, very welcome indeed. Majestic Inn for Adam Cattrall, who we'll be speaking to later on in the shows in Las Vegas, alongside from West Ham striker Carlton. Cole, it is a star-studded week ahead here on talkSPORT, because you already heard in the previous show with Rory Jennings and Ade that Robbie Williams is going to be joining Drive next Thursday. That's unbelievable. But on Sunday, this is amazing. Former Scotland, Leeds and Liverpool midfielder Gary McAllister will be live in the studio on the Sunday edition with Sean Custis and Henry Winter, which is a fantastic show, by the way. They will discuss the latest at Gary's former club, how much football has changed since he used to play, and his thoughts on Scotland reaching their first World Cup since 1998. That is the legend. That is Gary McAllister live on the Sunday edition this Sunday from 9 a.m. Gary McAllister, what a player he was.
He was one of those players that were, he paved the way for the great number sevens. After, obviously, George Best. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So the ones after that, so he took the mantle, because everyone used to love him.
When he went to Liverpool, he was a bit older in his career. He made such an impact on that Liverpool team. His free kicks, his distribution, his passing. What a player. And yeah, wow, we're going to be privileged to have him in the studio here on Sunday, which is already a great show with Sean Custis, Henry Winter. If you're a football nerd like me, that is a great show to listen to. They give you all the insights. 03717 22 Lots of Arsenal fans are calling us. Going to get to the phone lines in a moment's time. We've got Ali Arsenal fan who's messaged us currently. Good evening, Manchester Cullen. Looking great, lads. Champions League or the Premier League? I've seen us win 5 league titles and I was in Paris for the painful Champions League defeat against Barca. So for me, Give me that Champions League, please. God bless Ted Kenneth from how the Arsenal back. He would like to see the Champions League.
That makes sense for Arsenal fans. When I look at Arsenal fans, I'm thinking we can't compare ourselves to the greatest teams in Europe when we ain't done a Champions League. We've only just done it domestically. You know, I think they need to spread their wings. They've done Premier League before, we know that, and they've come close. I know they've come close a few times now, but it's on the horizon, the Premier League. And now, when you look at what's in front of them, I think they're the best team at the moment in the Premier League. So they should win it anyway, from being so clear in front now. They could kind of look at the Champions League and say, you know what, let's really have a go for this. You know, and as you said, let's see what Arteta's minerals are in those dying playoff finals, like in the dying minutes when he has to make a decision. Is he going to make the right decisions to win the game for the team?
But for me, he has been a little bit cautious again this season. For example, I thought Liverpool were there for the taking in the Emirates, and he was a little bit cautious. You know, when we see them, you know, when they went to Anfield and Szoboszlai scored that unbelievable free kick, you know, even that game, the way they sat was a little bit cautious. He's still been criticised for that because he's obviously trying to get over the line. And if you look at the results against, you know, the teams around them, like the Cities and the Liverpools, etc., you know, that haven't been, obviously last year they had that dominant performance in the Emirates against City. But it's going to be interesting to see, like I said, this big game against United, because United seem to be a bit back on track now. And then they've got the North London derby in a few weeks. And of course Spurs are in all sorts of...
Well, this is going to show what kind of cojones they really have.
Say that, will you?
Cojones.
Yeah, I love it. He says it.
Cojones. Yeah, the cojones.
Let's go over to Matt, who's an Arsenal fan. Good evening, Matt.
Hello, how you doing?
Very well. Champions League or Premier League? Which one are you going to choose?
Yeah, it's got to be Champions League for me. Like you were saying earlier, boys, we've done Premier League a few times now. Champions League's the one that's missed it.
Yeah.
I do remember one quote, I think it was Warren Clough that said when he was asked back in the day about, you know, the league or the European Cup as it was then, he always said the league because it's longevity. So I will say that, you know, over 38 games of the season to kind of come out number one shows kind of longevity. So, I mean, obviously I've loved both. If I had to pick one, 100% no Champions League. The thing that's missing, if we can have the Prem as well, obviously that, you know, that's the icing kind of on the cake. But
in this type of form you're in, I would go Champions League right now for you, because I think you could, because you built something over these last at least 3-4 years with the Premier League. This is, and I think you're at a stage right now where you're peaking. You know, like you're really got your strong, and all around the pitch, got strength and depth on the bench. So right now, whilst you're in this state, I think that go for the Champions League. Listen, if you can do both, perfect. But if it was one or the other, I'd say Champions League, just to round yourselves off as real European greats.
yeah, exactly. I think also then what that might allow us to do is give us that like edge that you were talking about with Arteta and that cojones, as you say, to go on and then, you know, maybe not win another Champions League kind of straight away, but, you know, maybe do a league and, you know,
But the league's always going to be there for you lot, I think. I think the league's going to be there, but in this type of form you're in now, where no one can beat you, this is the time. This is the time.
The only difficult thing about the Champions League is, and we've seen it, because obviously, you know, the Madrids and the Barças, even PSG get that loss against...
well, PSG finished 15th last season.
So. Those teams almost like when it gets to the latter stages, that's when they turn it on. You don't have to have a really good marathon runner.
Yeah, but I think Arsenal can just keep everyone at bay this season.
But they've got such strength and depth that, you know, when it comes to...
Look what they've done to Inter, man.
Yeah.
They went to their backyard, just
disposed of them.
And it's got, come on.
Even the league phase, though, that kind of is a bit of a false economy for me, because like you say, I think those bigger teams that kick on in the late stage swear the experience as well. Like Real Madrid, Barca, you know, Bayern.
Yeah.
You know,
the experience is a mad thing, you know. Experience at that level, knowing when to go full throttle, when to take your foot off the gas, knowing when to make a change. These teams have that over
season fire, isn't
it? Yeah.
Brilliant, cool. Thank you very much, Matt. Loads of calls coming in. 03717 22 33 should we go to another Arsenal fan?
Well, this is the first time I've ever seen them call so much. Come on, let's go to another one. They must be in a good place.
We spoke really nicely about them. They feel they're
like, we won the league.
They feel like they're in the same space. They're in the same space with us. And let's speak to Adam. How are you, man?
Good evening, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you for calling us, mate. Listen, you know, as an Arsenal fan,
you can see if you're watching the YouTube, you can see this guy's got a Spurs hat on.
A Spurs hat on, but
I'm
doing what they call is keeping it real.
Okay.
And I'm recognising Arsenal and how great they are.
So you're speaking up. You're speaking up Arsenal.
I want to ask Adam as an Arsenal fan, you know, like, when did you last feel this confident as an Arsenal fan, as, you know, for your ability in going into these games that, you know, there's not many people that can beat you at the moment?
Well, even though we do concede goals, I always think that the goals going to score against us. So that confidence, I'm not confident about winning anything until we've won it, but I would take the Prem over the Champions League.
Interesting.
And I'll tell you what, there's the almost consistency, where if you look at the Champions League, you're getting lucky with the knockout stages. And also, we come second again, 4 years on the spin. Jesus, forget about, you've never won the Champions. Chelsea would stick their what's it up there, they're the only Champions League holders not to qualify the group stages.
Wait, why have you made this an attack on Chelsea, mate? Concentrate on yourself, right? That's what I'm saying. Concentrate on yourself, because I think that's the best thing for you lot right now.
No. I mean, it's always the Prem for me, mate. Always the Prem.
Okay, fair enough. Like, for me, I look at you, I think, you know what? Because you've done the Prem before, and I know, like, recency. Like, when we talk about recency bias, yeah, you have you probably should have won the league by now with what you've done in the last 3-4 years, right? You should have. And I know it's embarrassing that you haven't, because that's what every other club tends to.
Imagine we come second again.
But you would have won it. Imagine, but you would have won the Champions League.
It's not only bottlers, it's going to be Jeroboam.
Had a few of them, have you? You've had a few of them. What type? Laura Perrier. But listen, mate. Like, honestly, I think for me, I get what you're saying. It is that bottle job. I'd say tag that you are trying to get rid of. But at the same time, you can do that next season if you don't win the league this season. You know, go and win the Champions League.
We're going to be labelled as set-piece Arsenal win the league, or...
Oh, but who cares how you win it? Just get over the line. I think Arteta's remit was win games. Win games, get this over the line, because we've got the squad.
I don't actually believe we could win 2 to 3 trophies this year. I don't think they quite will happen, but I do believe we can win 3.
I love this talk. I love this talk.
That's why I just had a message here. Thank you very much, Adam. A message here from Kieran and Clay.
So Kieran and Clay, they're my mates.
Yeah, all your boys.
Yeah, my boys.
It says Arsenal fan here can't choose Champions League over the league in the position we find ourselves in because it means something's gone catastrophically wrong not to win it. We've got to say we want to win both.